Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh and Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 21 of the Loudest Sports Show, brought to you by the Dorkening Network and sponsored by Deadly Grounds Coffee with their new flavor, Toasted S'mores, which I have not tried, but I will be trying soon.
Oh, it's happening.
Oh, it's definitely happening. We are the Three Bro Amigos, the Ray Hall Trio, the Sports Triumvirate, and along with Slash's the Ice Queen and Emma Extreme, we are the greatest sports talk team you have ever seen. Joining me, as usual, because I am your host, Patsy the Angry Nerd, I am here with Slash's the Ice Queen.
Oh, hey.
Slash's is off camera today because she is.
Because I am.
Yes.
Well, why is she off camera? Because. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Got 5 for fighting.
We are also joined by Dave, the Kardashian Dragon.
Slash Airwolf.
What's going on? Feeling
Dave,
good?
Gang signals.
Those peace signs, buddy. Double peace. Peace around the world. That's what that means.
Oh, well,
okay.
throwing up.
You don't think.
The world?
Yeah.
I'm all behind on my gang signs, so I'm not sure exactly what if I made a faux pas.
Yeah, side of things.
Yeah, I'm here, feeling good, ready to go.
Good. Because we're also joined by Dave's magnificent beard that he's been growing for about 12 years now. Starting to
31 years. Taking me about 31 years.
It's almost half as good as my really butchered, trimmed down beard.
Yeah. Well, we all have things we're good at, right? I can't grow facial hair.
Well, let me know when you find yours, Dave.
I was just about to say, I don't really know what that is. I don't really know.
We are also joined, as you can tell, by Dan. Don't call me Danny Spencer.
Oh, it's Tuesday, baby. Tuesday. Tower of Power. Too sweet to be sour. Live from Worcester, Massachusetts. Let's go.
You forgot Funky Like a Monkey.
Funky like a monkey. Snap into it, Hulk Hogan. Be a man. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Funky Like a Monkey, we are joined by Emma Extreme. Emma, show everybody your shirt.
What you got, kid? What kind of shirt you got? What is it?
Koala t-shirt.
Koala.
Where koala's from?
She's a tree hugger.
Desert.
Australia, close-ish.
Yeah.
Desert.
And it's overrun with criminals, as everyone knows.
As everyone knows.
Parties.
You feeling good tonight? You feeling loose? You ready to roll?
Tired.
Tired
from what? Did you have to go to school one day this week?
I mean, dude, she had an honest-to-goodness hour and a half of school today.
Whoa!
Rough. After a 3-day weekend, it's tough to
How are
be
you going to recover from that?
I don't know.
Yeah, Emma, I got a question for you. Emma.
She's listening.
I got a question for you. Why would you never starve in the desert?
I don't know.
Because of all the sandwiches there.
The sandwiches.
Sandwiches there.
Sand. It sounds like sandwich. Wow, dude, that landed flat, bro. I liked it. I loved that one.
Yeah, I don't care. She didn't, I laughed.
He
like,
just said for his own
coming.
amusement, yeah.
I knew it was coming, and I still laughed.
She didn't like it.
She got one to throw back at you.
What do you call cheese that isn't yours?
Are you kidding me? What is this, a rerun?
What we telling the same jokes over and over?
We did this one.
She did this already.
Oh, sorry, I'm fat. I forgot, Your Honor. What is it?
Did I ever tell them the repeat thing?
Yep.
Yes, you did. That one you did. That was probably your
You better
best
get some
work.
new material, girl. All
Yeah,
right,
you
you
gotta
just
get
show
some
up
new
on here
materials, all
giving us reruns.
Well,
Well,
we'll
give us
revisit
the
this
answer
one.
anyways.
Give me them jelly rolls.
Anyways.
Are you raising your hand? Okay, she's just dancing.
She's dancing.
Because somebody might not have heard it. This might be somebody's first show and they haven't heard your joke before.
That's true. So what is the answer? What do you call cheese that's not yours?
Nacho cheese.
Well, I guess that joke is as good as it gets.
She's standing on the
Jack
table. What
Nicholson.
a free spirit she is.
Oh my God!
Hey,
come down from there. I can't believe what a free spirit you are.
No, you come up here.
She just dropped the mic. She's
our opening face-off question. I'm going to throw this to Slashes first because I know she definitely has something prepared. But what teammates have / had the best chemistry? So Slashes, I'm going to go to you first, and I think I know one of your picks because we actually talked about this the other day.
Well, yeah, and this is the reason why we decided that this would be the question for this week. So I feel like this is, if you know me, this makes sense. If you listen to the show, this just makes complete, absolute sense. It's the quote perfection line. It's Marchand and Bergeron and Pasternak, the top line of the Boston Bruins. Now, let me just say that nobody in Massachusetts, no actual Bruins fan, calls it the perfection line. Nobody calls it that. No. That moniker was given to it by all of these analysts and
Doc
writers
Emmerich.
and fucking Doc Emmerich, who I cannot stand. But since 2017, these three have played over 1,600 minutes together at 5-on-5, with the Bruins scoring 61%, over 61% at this point, of the goals and getting over 57% of the shot attempts. Bergeron, one of the best two-way centers in NHL history, who last year had a face-off win percentage of 57.9,
pretty good,
which is really freaking good, is flanked by two wingers who have played to a 30-goal plus goal pace apiece for the past 4 seasons.
If we had a full season last year, Pasternak would have had 50 because he had 48 when they stopped it and they still had 12 games left.
Yeah, as dominant as they come, an argument can be made that this is the best Bruins line of the past 30 years.
I could say maybe all time.
And I think you're seeing this now too, because your top line is Marchand and Bergeron and
yeah, whoever else is out there.
Yeah, whoever they put out there,
and they've been throwing everybody out there.
You know,
Studnicka,
and you can see the chemistry.
Krejci.
The chemistry between Marchand and Bergeron is there. They play off of each other super well. They know where each other's going to be. They're missing their third. They're missing Pasternak hardcore these past few games.
The thing that really made us, think about this was the goal that Bergeron scored shorthanded against the Devils. Where Marchand was fighting off a defender all the way down the ice.
Yes,
and just perfect pass to Bergeron, who buried it.
It's almost like they knew exactly. It's almost like they have ESP with each other.
That's why I didn't think you were going to say Pasternak. I thought you were just going to go Marchand Bergeron.
No,
because
I'm
those guys have been
Pasternak
playing together for 14 years.
Yeah, but you throw Pasternak in there, and it's just magic.
Yeah,
it is magic. Now I have a second.
Okay, who's your second?
The Merlot line. Danny Paille, Gregory Campbell, and Sean Thornton. So they earned their title of the Merlot line because that was the color of their jerseys worn in practice by the team's fourth line. But the trio protested against being called the fourth line. Our fourth line, as it's called in Boston, is not a fourth line on most other teams. We play an important role, said Gregory Campbell. They did so much more than your average trio of grinders. They killed penalties, scored goals, blocked shots, fought, hit, and dominated shifts at both ends of the ice. They did anything that was asked of them. If the team was losing puck battles, getting out hit, or fell a step behind, that's when the Merlot line shined. These three combatants inspired their teammates to find that extra grain of effort. They changed the momentum when their team needed it, and most of all, are a huge reason why the Bruins won the Stanley Cup in 2011.
I remember at
the chemistry of that line was unfathomable.
Well, I remember at the end of that run after they won,
Sean Thornton came out with his Merlot.
Well, there's that, which we have
the
a bottle
Merlot
of.
line Merlot.
The Merlot line of Merlot, yes. But Thornton was like, "Hey Felger, I guess we don't suck after all."
I was hoping you were going to mention that. I remember at the parade there were several. I say several because it was more than two. There was several suck at Felger chants. It was good stuff.
I do want to throw out when you were talking about blocking shots and taking one for the team, that penalty kill against the Penguins that Campbell had when he broke his fucking leg and couldn't get off the ice, and still after he broke his leg blocked a shot again.
Yep.
Oh, I already liked Greg Campbell, and I remember when they traded for him because they got Campbell and they got Horton, and I said from Florida, and I said, this guy is just kind of getting thrown in there, but he's going to be a vital piece to this team. And I was fucking right. Because it was the same thing. I said it's going to be a repeat of what happened with...
You're always right, Patsy. You always called it.
Well, I called it the same thing because when I compared it to when Mike Lowell got thrown in to the Josh Beckett deal. They just kind of threw him in, and then he ended up being World Series MVP 4 years.
That's kind of next level, yeah. Mike Lowell.
We love Mike Lowell around here.
Mike Lowell jersey right behind Dave, right? Yeah, number 25.
And I said Greg Campbell's going to have the same type of impact. He wasn't a Finals MVP, but he was a huge reason why the Bruins were able to win that series. The play of that line. So. All right, switch it over. Dan, who's your pick?
I got a few because I scoured
because I wanted to make sure I didn't have somebody else's.
I scoured my thoughts in different things that I've seen in different sports and all this because there's a lot that you can go with. I will say the homer in me, and that's the path we're down so far, so I'm okay with that, is Tom Brady and Deion Branch. It escaped me for a minute. Brady and Branch was beautiful.
Branch was nobody besides Brady. You know what I mean?
Honest to goodness. No, he really wasn't. He's just
to Seattle and was garbage.
He was garbage in Seattle. So then they brought him back, and he was impactful again. So Brady and Branch was a great one. I don't want to say this other one, because I think Dave might have it, but if he doesn't, then I'm going to say it. But there's a current one that I like.
None of mine are current.
Harrison and Manning, phenomenal, unbelievable.
Oh, Harrison and Manning.
Sick.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Sick.
that.
I remember having to be on the other side of that, watching that, going, God, like nothing you could do. You know where he wanted to go with it, and he always went there. I'm sorry, what?
I said they didn't miss a beat when they brought in the next. Who was the next kid? It was Harrison. Who was after that?
I can't remember. We were just talking about
Reggie Wayne.
Wayne.
With the crooked finger who got cut from the practice squad. I remember getting excited when Reggie Wayne got excited. He's like, oh, yeah, here he goes. And he didn't make it. But obviously Rice and Young, that's a no-brainer. That's easy.
Rice and Young or Rice and Montana?
Rice and Montana. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Although he did play with both. Rice, it was more poetry. But Rice, if you're a good quarterback and you can get the ball to him, then it was going to be poetry as long as you can get in the vicinity.
Rich Gannon and Jerry Rice had a good rapport.
If it's in the vicinity, Rice is going to get it. But to kind of switch gears, I have two favorites. So another current one, the Young Bucks, which I don't know a lot of people have a lot of exposure to, but they are a tag team. They are brothers. There's an older brother and a younger brother. It's about 2 years apart, but the kind of chemistry and literally knowing what another person is going to do in a wrestling ring helps, because you have to have their trust, but also to know exactly what every move is going to be.
Poetry, yeah.
Beautiful. And the kind of innovative stuff that they do in tandem is unlike anything I've ever seen anybody else do. Like, I love the Legion of Doom. I love the Rockers. Tag teams are awesome. Some of my favorite part of wrestling. But the Bucks and how in tune they are with each other. Also, I actually think it helps. It's not my type of lifestyle, but the fact that they're so straight edge and clear-headed and they don't drink and none of this stuff probably helps. It probably helps.
Now, they're a couple of nerds.
But my favorite of all time, chemistry-wise, and again, this is wrestling, and they're not wrestlers. They were. Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura on commentary was some of the best work that I've ever heard. Ever.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
No, you got to get out of here, Gorilla. What are you talking about, Gorilla? Oh, because you had Gorilla,
who was together though.
Oh, for a long time, forever.
Just them two?
Oh yeah, Gorilla
Maybe
and Jesse. Oh, dude, forever. Awesome calls, and it was such a good mix of the classic heel announcer with Jesse, and then Gorilla, who's the purist and always going for the good guy. And if you have a really good heel, even if you have a pretty good face announcer, then you're good. But this is something you could go on in this for days. And again, my favorite new one, I'm not going to say, but that's where I'm at. I'm gonna leave it with Jesse and Gorilla.
I'm gonna go one fairly recent. One of my favorites of all time, LeBron and D-Wade.
Not bad.
A couple of different guys. They weren't really sure how they were gonna mold at first. I just you see a video all the time online. It's
move the microphone a little closer to you.
Yeah. That video online of Dwayne Wade talking about how he found out LeBron was going to the Heat. He found out just like everyone else. He was sitting at his house with his family when he announced it on TV. Had no idea LeBron was coming to Miami. So I really love them. They made it to 4 finals. They only won 2, but unbelievable how well they played together. And just Wade is kind of one of those guys. Like he's like Curry. He took a back seat. He knew he wasn't the guy anymore. Some people can't understand that. He knew he took it. They were
good as the whole
best friends on and off the court. Yeah, love it. And another one I got to say is AD too with LeBron right now. They're just really good friends. They work well together.
Boston's big three was sick.
I have another one. Toronto, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry. Those guys were just awesome. Yeah. Really good friends. They had such chemistry on the court and they trusted each other. I love that. You love seeing when just two guys are just completely.
You could make the same argument for McCollum and Lillard.
Yeah, I don't know if they're about as
won nothing.
Well, neither did the Raptors, but I don't know. The Raptors lost to LeBron in the playoffs every year. The year they traded DeRozan's when they won the championship and they got
Lowry to Boston, 2021. Woo!
So that's another one. I got one right now. I don't know if this is the one Dan talking about. James Harden and Kevin Durant.
Fuck that.
Love playing together. They're looking
more than a couple of games.
They made it to a finals together as a 6-man and as a young Kevin Durant. I really like them together. They seem to be really, cool. And then my favorite of all time, obviously.
Oh, easy. Oh, yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash. just two absolute professionals.
I was in the modern version of that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. No, that's good too. But Dirk and Nash, just absolutely unbelievable. Probably, I would say top 3 pick and roll of all time. I'm not going to say they're number 1 because I don't want to get in that argument, but top 3 pick and roll, just absolutely unstoppable. You could argue him and Stoudemire. You could argue Nash and Stoudemire was even better than Dirk.
I think that's what Dan has.
No. But the thing with Nash and Stoudemire is Dirk had the range. Both those guys could shoot. Amari couldn't really shoot, so you kind of were limited on that. So
couldn't kind of shoot.
Amari was a lot more explosive.
Matrix could shoot.
Who?
The Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't really run pick and roll with Marion and Nash a lot. That wasn't like a pick and roll. But that's all I got. I really, if you could kind of see, I went with people who are really friends off the court and on the court. It's not just very much all about on field.
Before Dan does his last one, we'll see if he has any of the ones that I pick, because I have 3, and every one of my guys is in the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to go with Wayne Gretzky and Yari Curry playing for Edmonton.
I almost picked that one, actually.
The third, put it this way, the third guy on their line, because back then hockey was way different. So the third guy on their line was an enforcer, which is like insane to think of in this day and age, having an enforcer on your top line. But even that, because those guys aren't skilled, they just punch.
They're called enforcers, Pat, and you're going to need them when you play Iceland, okay?
Well played.
Enforcer, and he had 34 goals that year.
That's ridiculous.
Staying with hockey, This is one of the best top lines you could possibly ask for. They won back-to-back championships. Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr.
I knew that. I knew that.
I remember when Lemieux retired, I'm like, all right, we'll see how good Jagr really is. And he led the league in scoring.
And hey, guess what? He's good.
He's number 2 all time behind Gretzky. So
he's pretty good.
And my number 1 pick is actually something that Dave kind of touched on, because this is the number 1 pick and roll of
I don't know.
It's impossible to argue this.
I guess if you're going stats wise, you're correct. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, top 3 scoring and number 1 assists all time.
Oh. Wait, he's still number 2. Nobody passed him yet. He's still number 2. Malone. He's still
I wasn't sure if he was.
No,
top 3
LeBron will pass him.
Top 3 is still correct, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just telling you, he's still 2. You don't have to go the 3rd because he's
Stockton
2.
Malone.
And Stockton leads all time in assists. No one is breaking that record of assists. No one. I don't give a shit.
Not only all-time leader in assists, but the all-time leader in steals.
It's crazy.
Forget how good he was defensively.
That's a great combo.
Because he was just
short little white guy.
Short little white guy. Yeah. All huge black dudes in the right place for steals. You can pass between their legs and stuff.
Yeah, God gets so frustrated.
But yeah, that's my pick for the
Those are all some great ones. We all had some good ones.
What was your last one?
So I actually had there was a hockey one that I didn't bring up and a basketball one that I didn't bring up. So Hull and Oates, that was another one that I picked.
Yeah,
that was another one that I wanted to throw out there.
The Blues.
Yes, with the Blues. So they played really well together. Hull loved having Oates around. We had 228 assists or some shit.
Wish I knew a Hull and Oates song. Hull and Oates. I would do the gold member.
But my new one.
Holland Oates.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like Holland Oates, and you're like David Bowie.
Yeah, like Holland Oates.
But my other one that I had that I thought Dave might have picked because it's a good modern version is Porzingis and Doncic.
And if you saw the last 2 games, throwing beautiful alley-oops.
Wonderful. I couldn't believe when they got Porzingis. Like, we're going to have Porzingis and Luka on the same team?
Stupid.
Crazy.
I can't wait for the Bears to trade for Deshaun Watson. That's going to be just.
That's not happening. He's going to
going to the Jets, I think.
Well, Dave, one thing I'll say, I use this at work all the time when it comes to stuff like that. Cross your fingers, but don't hold your breath.
No, I can't hold my breath.
No, cross your fingers, but don't hold your breath.
All right, so I think those are some pretty good ones. I also considered Chris Paul, Blake Griffin for that brief stint that they were together. But
Falk Warner? I had Falk Warner too? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad one. I would have
special on turf. No, they were all right.
Warner Bruce or Falk.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's take a quick break, and we come back. We'll do some hockey stuff, and then we'll move on to MLB because we got some breaking Major League Baseball news. That
then NFL playoffs. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have playoffs too. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the playoffs.
Is that what's happening? You know, the most important thing in sports right now.
Are you sleeping over there? You forget you're doing too many podcasts. You don't have time to watch NFL.
So we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll talk some hockey.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
All right, so we are back, and obviously we're gonna talk hockey first, and we're gonna get to the Bruins first.
They wouldn't be the Bruins if they didn't break your heart.
My weekend was ruined.
Yeah.
So bees are 1-1-1.
Frustrating.
Overtime.
The Bruins
loss.
are frustrating right now.
Their one win was a shootout against the Devils, who have no good players other than Eichel.
Well, here's the thing: they have no real named players. The Devils are a young team right now, and I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more of some of these names in the upcoming years.
A few years, yeah.
But like these kids are fresh legs for the most part.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you got again Eichel, who is not Eichel. I keep saying Eichel.
But like as far as the Bruins go, you have players who aren't used to. I mean, it's the same team, but at the same time, it's a completely different team.
Yeah,
we lost a couple of key players.
They're faster on defense, and McAvoy has looked really good in a starring role.
Right. But where they're lacking is their shooting attempts.
Yes.
They need to put the puck in the goal.
And for folks at home who are not familiar with this,
that's how you win games?
Well, no. To be considered a shot, it has to hit the goalie or go in. Like it has to be.
Post don't count.
Like the post doesn't count. If you shoot and you miss completely, that's not a shot.
That's ridiculous. I didn't know that.
Generally, whoever scores the most points is going to win the game.
Blocked on the way in, it has to be played by the goalie or it's not a shot. So you can have shot attempts.
So how many shots the Bruins have against my Islanders a couple days ago? How was that?
Not enough.
Not enough.
0 goals.
Because my boy Jean-Gabriel Pageau with the game-winning goal.
Pageau.
Are you sure it's what is it?
Pageau.
Yes.
My friend had the same last name. I'm pretty sure it's Pageau. That's okay.
Is your friend French Canadian?
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
The American version is probably Pageau. Like people say Ray Hall, but it's not correct.
Well,
so
in this case, it's Pageau.
Pageau. Jean? Is it Jean or Jean?
Jean-Gabriel Pageau.
Hey, it was Jean-Gabriel. Okay, yeah. So he's awesome.
They call him JG. That's what he goes by.
Well, Islanders looking pretty good. Just saying.
Do you know what their Semyon Varlamov's goals against average is right now?
I don't, but they are third in the East right now. So just saying. And they're second in the leaague in points.
Just so you know, Semyon Varlamov was a stud when he played for Colorado. Now he's the goaltender for the Islanders. He has a goals against average of 0.00.
Listen, I started watching hockey 8 days ago. You got to give me a break here because you're telling me that name you just said to me is like if I never watched Game of Thrones, you're trying to explain to me season 4. I don't know who that is. I don't know anything about hockey.
How do you not know that?
Because I don't watch hockey, never have.
You knew Jean-Gabriel Pageau?
I do my research for my, but I'm following my Islanders.
I do my research,
and I do bet
on a hockey team.
Stop being a jerk.
He is being a jerk.
He doesn't know how to do that.
Invested in the game, and it's appreciated.
I'm trying to get invested. I'm trying to learn. I'm rooting for my Islanders.
All right, so what's the goalie's name?
Huh?
What's the goalie's name? I've said it.
I have no idea. Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't know if I can.
Hey, listen.
That is a hell of a last name.
Listen, all I know is they're playing pretty well,
Call that one
and they won me some money, so that's even better.
Call that one Die Hard on Ice.
All right. So the Bruins, however, have not played a home game yet. Their first home game
is Thursday.
Thursday against the Flyers, who are 2-1 and tied for second in the league with scoring with 12.
And there is some good news on the Bruins front. Coming back home, Pasternak is joining them in practice.
He's going to be like pasta la vista, baby.
So he is going to be on the ice, which is really promising. I mean, he's not going to be ready to go for a few weeks, but the fact that he is, his legs are going to be on the ice, he's going to be right in practice is huge. So if they can try to win a few more games, and that's the thing with this shortened season, like a loss is so detrimental this year.
Yeah. And
before it'd be like, okay, well, we can shrug off this loss and we can go back and get them next game. Well, with only 56 games, every game really counts.
Especially where you're going to be building some intense familiarity. You're playing every team in your division 8 times.
Yeah, what did you say about 12 points?
The Flyers have scored 12 goals thus far.
Are you sure?
No, they've scored 14 and given up 12. Although the way I wrote it was weird.
I was going to say, because they only have 4 points. 4
points that's based on wins. So you get 2 points for a win, 1 point for an over.
What I'm saying is they're 3-2. So I don't know how they could have scored that many goals. I've been watching all the games. I'm like, Jesus.
They have 14 goals. They just gave up 6 to Buffalo.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. No, I'm shocked. I'm surprised.
Yeah, the guy who gave him up is my Vezina pick, Carter Hart. He gave up 6 goals to Buffalo. Who does? They do have Jack Eichel and Taylor Hall, who are pretty good offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Former number 1 pick, Taylor Hall.
Yeah, 14 goals. Wow, that's
they've scored 14 and given up. Well, they're
only 3-2. That's crazy to me.
But they smoked the Penguins twice.
Yeah, that first game was really good. That Penguins game, it was back and forth. I remember watching that.
I will say this though, as far as goals go, the Bruins have 4, and the Flyers have 14.
Yeah.
So just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I've been following the Islanders and the Bruins and a couple other teams. It's like 1-0, 2-3.
There's one team in the league with fewer goals than the Bruins, and it is the Dallas Stars, who have yet to play this year.
How come they haven't played?
Because they had a preseason COVID outbreak.
Ooh.
They couldn't. So those dudes didn't show up. I was pretty sure you told me that wasn't going to be an issue.
I said it wasn't going to be nearly as rampant. I said it wasn't going to be nearly the problem that it has been in the other sports.
So we're about less than a week in, right?
There's one team.
First game. No, there's been 19 teams with COVID issues, and tonight's the first postponed game.
19.
Holy crap. I think it's going to be just as much of an issue. Maybe a little less, but so far it hasn't been much less than other sports.
Well,
game postponed already. A team with 17 players on 17 players on the roster. 17.
Yeah, but that's one team.
Yeah, but there's been 19 teams with at least one guy out. Some have multiple.
But they haven't been They haven't been postponing games, except for the fact that they had to.
Yeah, we're a weekend.
The schedule because
not even a weekend.
Right.
Less than a weekend, and there's the first game was postponed today.
No,
so
they've
already. We should be realistic about this.
They postponed games because of the preseason COVID outbreak in Dallas.
No, Dallas is not the. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the game postponed tonight. Wasn't that a different game?
I believe it was Carolina.
I didn't see Carolina, but Dallas.
No, so your Dallas with the 17 cases is not there.
Yeah,
okay.
Did those guys? So those guys weren't aware of COVID before the season.
No, clearly
17 people on the roster.
Okay, and how
not like somebody did something stupid
in the past week? How many games in the NBA have been postponed? How many teams have had insufficient players to even get
right? I don't think since the Sixers.
So it's a little different.
In the Celtics, that was it.
But also, how far are we into the season with basketball?
10 games?
Just the Sixers and Celtics.
Just the Sixers.
We're about 15 games in. Lakers are 11 and 4.
15 games. So I'm just saying.
We're about 15 games.
We need to be realistic about the COVID impacts that this could have because
I'm saying it's not going to be nearly as bad. That's what I'm telling you.
Your opinion is that it's not going to be bad. No. Let's get that straight. Again, we've talked about this at literal nauseam.
19 teams have had
literal nauseam. We've had 19 people.
But it's not. I'll get to you in a second. Well,
no, this is stupid. Having this are you going to have this conversation every single week?
I didn't bring it up.
No, I did.
Damn right up. I'm telling you, it's going to be as bad because these guys aren't traveling all over the country.
Argument that you had last week. Kill it. Let's move on.
So what?
So it's beating a dead horse.
I mean, I don't. They kind of. I don't. For those of us paying attention at home, this happens all the time on this show. And I'm not usually the one that beats a dead horse. However, after seeing the results of what's happened in the first less than a week of the season, and that it's had an impact on it, I got skewered on it last week, so goddamn it, I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay, so
beat the fucking horse till the horse is mush, till the horse is dust.
One game got canceled. It's the exact same as the NBA. Same problem. One game postponed.
No, wait. Thank you. It is the same problem. You're correct.
100%.
Every sport's gonna have it.
Same level. Same level. You're right. Moving on. Moving on.
You're like a 12-year-old girl when stuff
No,
like that
Ken.
happens. You know what? You're right.
thing.
You're right. You got it. You don't like to hear when somebody makes a good point. And if you don't think it's a good point, let it play out. Because you make guarantees.
Let it play out. You brought it up the first time it happened. You're like, oh, see, it's just as bad. No, it's not. It's been one game.
No, I didn't say it's just as bad. Those words actually never came out of my mouth. What I said is it's going to have to be a concern as it is in every other sport. That's a fact.
No, I said it's not going to be as bad. You said yes, it is. So
no, I didn't say it is. I said it has to be taken into consideration.
Right.
You're opposing your opinions.
So up next, 5-on-5 scoring for the Bruins is still a huge issue.
Oh, so we just have to move on? Hold on. No.
Yeah.
Move on from this, Pat. I'm fine to move on from this.
Yeah.
But when you have bullshit, nonsense, awful, garbage opinions that you talk about in other sports, and you want to keep going with it, we don't just move on because we don't want to talk about it anymore. That's not how this show generally works. Okay, I'll move on from it, but don't pull that bullshit because you think you're right and everybody wants to think they're right. I'm just saying it's a consideration. It's not going to be the same.
All right,
they're different kinds of players, but don't pull that nonsense when you don't do
Right.
Don't do it.
Hold on. 5-on-5 scoring is still a huge issue for the Bruins. That was their issue last year. It's their issue now. They don't, like Slasher said, they don't shoot enough. They don't have guys who, when they shoot, can put the puck in the net besides Bergeron and Marchand. And we saw them try to change up the line.
They only have a couple of guys who are really confident in their play right now.
Right. Like we obviously Bergeron, Marchand.
You see a lot of
guy who
pucks moving back and forth, but you don't see a lot of pucks moving towards the net.
Right. And that's been their issue for many, many years. Is
and it's really exactly. And it's really frustrating. Unfortunately, you really only have one line who makes any attempt to score, and that's your top line.
Right.
And as of right now, your top line is missing a key player. So you only have two players out of the entire locker room for the most part. I mean, Krejci attempts to make a play here and there.
Krejci and DeBrusk have given you a little bit. Even Coyle from the defensive end has tried to put the puck in the net, but their issue is they have 3 or 4 forwards that can actually score. And, Cassidy in that second game against the Devils tried to put some of these other guys up on the top line. Guys like, I think they had Studnicka, they had DeBrusk, they had Coyle, they had even Krejci on the top line trying to generate some offense, but he's not a winger. He's a natural center. So it's hard for him to kind of adjust to that. But, you're throwing all these different things. Cassidy at least is giving you that. Like, when we had Julian here, it would just be line 1, they'd do their shift, then line 2, then line 3, then line 4, then right back to line. He never switched it up, never changed anything. Line 1 on the first 4 lines, as long as there wasn't an injury, they were the same 4 lines all year. Didn't matter what the situation was. It's like you're down 1, you need a goal. It's like, oh, well, we really need, our top line out there, but, line 3 is out there now, so we got to roll that 4th line. At least Cassidy is giving that consideration, like, okay, we need our best scoring out there.
Well, no, and he is giving younger players a chance to be on the ice, which how else are they going to learn? How are they going to become seasoned veterans if they don't?
Experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and I was against this, but this is why I'm not a coach in the National Hockey League. Having Nick Ritchie on the power play, like, yeah, he's a big body, but that goal he scored in the first game,
yeah,
that was a nice goal. Like the pass from he stood in the spot where Marchand usually Marchand is on the goalie's left, and he waits there for a pass from Bergeron, and he jams the puck home. He did that a bunch in the playoffs last year and the year before. That's kind of his signature move. We saw Ritchie do the exact same thing and score on a pass from Marchand. He was on the goalie's right, and he just buried the shot. I still am not a fan of Nick Ritchie because he took too many stupid penalties against the Lightning and the Blues, and was a contributing factor to them losing because he kept putting them on the penalty kill. And when you're playing a high-powered offense, you can't keep doing that because you're going to lose. So the commissioner, Gary Bettman, is also considering a baseball-like method of playing games. So instead of having, two games at home and then, like what the Bruins did, they had 2 games. Everybody opened up 2 games against the same team in the same arena and then move on to the next one. So the Bruins had 2 against the Devils in New Jersey. They had 1 against the Islanders yesterday, and now they're going to go home for 2 against Philadelphia. So they're thinking of, to cut down on travel time and to address the COVID situation, keep guys in the same place for 4 games and then move on to the next city, which I think is something that other sports can learn from. But, I think having them not traveling is as much is definitely going to be a mitigating factor. So I know you have a bunch of stuff as well.
Yeah. So, I know it's really early. Most teams have only played 3 or 4 games at this point. But right now we have the Lightning leading the Central Division, the Capitals first in the East, the Golden Knights first in the West, and the Maple Leafs first in the North. So there are some pros and cons to these divisions. Pros: coaches and players have fewer teams to prepare for. So there's a lot of stuff that you don't know about that goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of videotapes being watched. There's a lot of
it's
people,
like any other sport. You're watching film.
Right.
You're
Well, what I'm
checking
saying, like the average
tendencies.
person, the average sports goer may not know all of this stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So you have fewer teams to prepare for, which makes it easier to prepare for these teams. You can go a little more in depth with some of these teams. You can watch more tapes. You can, really study some of the
Really
plays
catch the
that
goalie tendencies.
Right.
Which is why we're seeing these high-scoring blowout games every other night.
Plus, if you're playing the same team multiple times in a row, coaches can get a bit more creative with lineup changes and playmaking. Like if something doesn't work one night, try something else different the next.
Right. And, for the most part, a lot of the teams that are able to do that are teams with, more talent spread throughout their roster. Like right now, the teams that are, I don't want to say dead. No, they are dead last. Teams that are because the Bruins aren't the only ones that have only scored 4 goals.
And they're not the worst team in the Eastern Division right now either.
Record-wise, no, but I would argue that based on their performance,
but they're not performing as well as we know they can.
Yeah, they have much more talent than what they're showing. Like right now, as far as goals for, the Bruins are tied with New Jersey in that division for 4, and the only other team with 4 is the Ducks, who are also 1-1-1. But the Bruins have played 2 games. They scored 3, one of them in the shootout, 1 and 0. So that's a bad trend.
No, and another pro is less travel time means more time for game preparation. You're not constantly flying back and forth. You're not as tired. There's more time for rest. There's more time for actual game prep. Now, some cons to this: less prep in between playing the same teams. So typically what would happen is you would play a team and then you may not see that team for 2-3 months.
Right, like you could
that
play.
Gives you time. It's like, okay, well, maybe we were without this person when we played them and we lost, but we're going to gain this person back. They're healthy and we can go to beat them. We have improved. We've added, sometimes the trade deadline is a huge factor. And I don't think the trade deadline is going to be as big of a factor this season.
I think it's going to be similar to baseball where, contending teams pick up a guy for a stretch run, which, is typically what happens in hockey. But hockey, it's usually you have 2 months remaining on the season, maybe 25, 30 games, and there's a lot that can happen at that point.
Right. It can be the difference between your team making the playoffs or not.
And usually a good indicator is where our teams, if a team is in the playoffs by Thanksgiving, like they're ranked to be in the playoffs by Thanksgiving, they're generally going to be in the playoffs. They might jockey for position. A notable exception would be the Blues from a couple years ago, who were dead last in the entire league in January and ended up just winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because you get a hot goalie, and
do you believe in miracles? And every game means more. Like I said earlier, a loss is detrimental in a shortened season.
Oh yeah. Every loss is going to hurt a little bit more. Every point you can get, every way you scrape along, anything you can get is going to be helpful. So that's the hockey lineup. Again, we have the Bruins. Well, by the time you guys hear this, they will have played last night and hopefully kind of get off the schneid a little bit. So we'll see. And next time you guys see us, we'll have a Phil Esposito jersey signed, hanging up in the background, because I won that the other night. I'm very excited.
Yep.
So moving on to the Major League Baseball, because this there's two things that really happened today in baseball. First, Hall of Famer Don Sutton passed away at the age of 75 today. I did not realize this, but he and I share the same birthday, just different years. April 2nd. He played 23 years, 23 seasons, mostly for the Dodgers, winning an all-star, winning a World Series in 1987 on that famous Kirk Gibson home run. Wow. He was 324 and 256, not bad. 3,574 strikeouts, which is good for 7th all time. A 3.26 ERA. Won his 300th game when he was 41 years old, and his 756 starts rank 3rd behind only Cy Young and Nolan Ryan, who pitched till he was almost fucking 50. He is a 4-time All-Star as well. Never won a Cy Young, but he did have some quality seasons, few seasons over 200 strikeouts. But again, he's 7th all-time, so that shouldn't be too surprising. The Mets general manager Jared Porter, who was hired in December, was fired today for sending dozens of unsolicited text messages culminating in a dick pic to a female reporter. The Mets cited their zero tolerance policy when they got rid of him. He also said that some of the more ribald text messages were stock photos and not of himself. The woman was a foreign correspondent who had moved to the United States to cover Major League Baseball. She said at one point she ignored more than 60 messages from him before he sent the final lewd photo.
Loser. At which point do you realize the woman isn't interested?
Apparently,
number 3.
He just doesn't. So I took a little bit from the ESPN article in this, so we can. I'm just going to quickly zip through it so people can get the extent of this asshole's refusal to take no for an answer. She said she ignored more than 60 messages before he sent the final dick pic. Text relationship started casually before Porter, who was at the time the Chicago Cubs director of professional scouting, began complimenting her appearance, inviting her to meet him in varying cities, and asked, "Why are you ignoring me?" Text shows she stopped responding to him after he sent a photo of pants featuring a bulge in the groin area, one of those stock photos he was so proud of. Porter continued texting her, sending dozens of messages despite the lack of response. On August 11th, 2016, a day after asking her to meet him at a hotel in LA, he sent her 17 pictures. The 15th of them were of the hotel and its restaurants. The 16th was the aforementioned pants bulge, and the 17th was a dick pic. Reached by ESPN on Monday, He acknowledged texting with the woman, initially saying he had not sent any of the pictures of himself. When told the exchanges show he had sent selfies and other pictures, he said that he meant quote, the more explicit ones are not of me. Those are like kind of like joke stock images. And I will rank this up with fuck that guy. I'm glad he lost his job.
I'm more with the like, what the hell was he thinking after sending like 3-4 of them? If somebody doesn't get back to you after 3 or 4, just you know,
guys, why are you ignoring me? Talk to me.
Understand, love me.
That's weird.
He ain't even thirsty, dude. He's crawling through the desert looking for an RC Cola machine. Like it's bad. It's bad.
Now, we have some NBA stuff. So, Dave, you want to cover this?
Hold on. I want to hit one other thing too. That came up that really upset me. MLB pissed me off. Freaking Washington signed John Lester. So we just got Theo back as an advisor to the team, and we couldn't get John Lester back on his team for no reason other than maybe getting some good press, maybe getting a little goodwill. You know, the things that they've been severely lacking the past few years. Bringing John Lester back would have done it. And they go, yeah, that's fine. We'll just let Washington pick him up. You know what? That's something that needs more high-powered pitching. Yeah, we couldn't have used that. No. Let him go. We'll get Martin Perez and then go sign Mitch Moreland back. Oh, hooray for that.
I saw that.
Please.
Yeah. I this is going to be another lost season. The Yankees are going to
all day. Lester all day. Yeah. Oh, this season is shaping up bad. I'm glad we got Cora back. That's a good thing, but Jesus, we could have used Lester, man. Like seriously.
Before we start the NBA, I want to ask you guys. Did you guys hear what Kendrick Perkins had to say about the Nets trade for Harden the other day?
No,
he wasn't too fond of it, as far as I remember.
Well, what he said, and I think this is glorious. Harden will be Robin to Durant's Batman, and Kyrie is Alfred.
I'd call Kyrie more of a Nightwing or a Batgirl.
No.
He might have some impact, but not much. But at the same time, where's Fat Harden at? Where's Fat Harden at? What happened to Fat Harden?
He's not fat.
No, he ain't fat. That's what I kept saying. I'm like, dude, everybody keeps saying, oh, he's bad in shape and he's fat. And I'm like, I don't know. And he gets out there and goes,
wearing a bunch of shirts, he said, or something like that.
Actually, no, he looks pretty good. But who knows? It doesn't matter what his body looks like.
He's wearing like a chest protector or something on his stomach, he said. He wasn't really fat because he was just showing him 2 days ago. He's flat.
He had like a Roman Reigns flat jacket on.
Nothing there.
As long as his head's in the right space, triple-double, not a bad way to open up.
No, he had a good, you know, obviously an historic debut.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But,
no one's ever done that.
But it was just him and Durant. Like, because guess who's coming home?
Kyrie's a sidecar. Kyrie is the caboose now.
Kyrie don't think that.
No, he doesn't think that.
Kyrie's an artist. You're a pawn.
Yeah, he also thinks that the Earth is flat. So in the I don't want to talk about it much, but yeah, he's the caboose. He's the caboose.
Hey,
the thing is,
has he saged any other fucking arenas that we've seen lately?
The guy's a weirdo, but he does things on the court.
Durant came to his defense.
I've never seen anybody else do.
He sages everything. Oh, he sages before he plays Xbox. Have we seen him walking around saging anything?
Yeah,
was
it's
staging
fine,
birthday party?
He's still an unbelievable basketball player when he's on the court. He said he was going through some personal issues. He had some family problems. You don't know if he had a death in his family. You have no idea, dude. So
he's like a payday.
Before you start to judge, we already know he's a psychopath.
Yeah,
but he was going through some stuff this last week.
You know what he was doing.
No, you don't. He said he just had to step back and just
had a birthday party.
Listen, you need to. He said, I just need to step back and appreciate what was very truly important to me in life. I'm going to come back to the team. He's like, I went through a little bit of I had a weak moment. I had a rough week. You don't know what the guy's going through. You have no idea the pressure the guy's under. I'm not saying he's not a psycho.
He's a birthday party. I know exactly that he did this.
That was 2 weeks ago. So this is this past week where he wasn't responding to phone calls. He actually just bought a house for the family of George Floyd.
He bought a house for George Floyd's family 6 months ago.
Okay, well, it just came out that he did that this past week. That's when I heard about it. So
it just came out, yeah, but he did.
But I'm just saying. So he's just listen.
No
He's been going.
He's not a good philanthropist.
I don't care about whether he does on the off the court, though. On the court, he's an unbelievable basketball player. So let's see what happens with these guys.
Also, we can't really speak to what he's been doing.
We don't know what he's been doing. He said
listen, I'm not with
the party was 2 weeks ago, though.
Anti-Kyrie, but we don't know specifically.
He just came out today.
Were you there?
No, he came out today and said he was going through some stuff. So you gotta give the guy a little bit of slack, man. Like we all have shit going through. We're all depressed. COVID.
I still go to work.
Listen. I'm not saying that it's not okay to go to work. I've missed 1 day of work since 2014. So I'm not going to sit here and talk and say that you don't go to work. But
go to work.
I'm not saying that. All I said was off the court stuff, all that aside, on the court, he's an absolutely unbelievable talent and can do things that no other player I've ever seen can do. He might have the best handles ever in the history of the NBA.
I don't know about that.
No, it's debatable, Pat. You don't have to. You're maybe your opinion is not that, but it's talked about. People think that. So
no,
I'm not saying
he does. But I would put Steph Curry. I would
Curry. It's widely considered he's a little bit better than Curry.
Ahead of him.
It's widely considered he's a little bit better than Curry dribbling.
Okay, I'd still put Nash and Jason Williams. Jason Williams is the best dribbler I've ever seen.
I don't know. God Shamgod might actually be the best dribbler.
From Providence College?
God Shamgod might be the best dribbler I've ever seen.
Good thing dribbling isn't the be-all, end-all of it.
Well, he's the dribbling coach on the Dallas Mavericks. He invented the Shamgod move, which every single person uses. Every college player, every high school, every junior player, they all use it. It's an unbelievable move. And he invented that. So I don't know. But Kyrie,
Providence College. I watched that guy in a NCAA tournament many years ago when I cared.
Unbelievable. He pushes the ball out and pulls. He's just so good. Yeah, he's the coach of the Mavs. Just saying, no big deal. But yeah, I don't know. Kyrie he's a nut bar. We know he's a nut bar, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like Chris Broussard said the other day. I'm going to quote him. It's a chemistry experiment. We'll see what happens. It could explode. It could not.
That's a really good way to put that.
Yeah, and
you're like two negatively charged ions.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If it doesn't work out, you can now trade Kyrie. You can get rid of him.
Who is going to want him?
The Knicks would take him. If he's going to be such a problem, you could trade him for draft picks or some young players. You literally could.
Are you new to the NBA?
I'm just saying.
That wants a really talented guy on their team.
He's not going to a good team.
No, he doesn't have to. But at this point, you can trade him. He doesn't have a no-trade clause. He can't say, I'm not going somewhere.
You'd send him to a garbage team.
Like the Knicks for some picks.
On a team that people are picking to go to the NBA Finals. How do you think he's going to act on the Knicks?
I don't know if they're going to go to the finals this year. I think they might. I do.
Whoa. Hold on.
Listen, when I said that, the team was completely different.
Mashed up bread.
The team was completely different when I said that. They didn't acquire Harden yet. So I'm still not going to jump off the wagon. But I still think Durant and Harden together, second best duo in the NBA. So I do think they could beat the Bucks. The Bucks is Giannis, and they just beat him last night. And they played no defense. They played no defense last night. They were showing replays. Free reign to the hoop. They were, as Shannon says, calling the line into the hoop all night. But they still won the game because they just flat out bucket. You score. No, I'm going to hit a layup. No, you hit a shot. No, I'm going to hit a three. No, it was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable game. And I actually bet on the Bucks. So I was pissed giving 4. And the Nets just, oh, my God. Not playing any defense, too. See, in the playoffs, that'll be a little different. They will play D. But them two together, that's 80, 90 points a game in the playoffs. And that's just what it's about. So I'm not going to say they're not going to win. I still am sticking with the Lakers to win again. But
I think you're overestimating the two of them.
No, I think you're underestimating the two of them.
80 to 90 points between the two of them?
In the playoffs? Yeah. When they're playing 8 or 9 players? Yeah. When they're shooting plus 30 shots a game? Yeah.
Shortened bench.
If Kyrie's on the team, okay, maybe 30 shots each, 25 each. But if Kyrie's not there for some reason, whatever happens, if they trade him, Harden and Durant is what I was saying. That's what I was
average 40 to 45 points apiece.
In the playoffs, they will take 30 shots each on the team.
Yeah. You said they're going to average 40 to 45. There's
no. I said every game you could probably account for. They will account for
the assists that they also put in. I'll give you the 90 points.
No. They will score probably 40 each in the playoffs every game. Like
no, they won't.
What do you? I'm just saying they have the possibility to do that.
I could see them averaging 60 between the two of them, but to say 80 to 90 between the two of them
in the playoffs, though.
So hold on. Are we discounting the fact that yes, 30 between the two or 30 each?
They're both MVPs. They're both scoring champions.
If Kyrie gets out on the court,
they'll score less.
They could all score 30.
They could all score 30, which is 90.
Every game.
Yeah, that's true. So you're getting 90 between the two or the three guys. Yeah,
that's nuts.
I stand by that.
I still think even if you add Kyrie to that, then you're still going to average 60, 65.
As long as KD plays big brother and keeps him in line, I think they'll be fine. They know KD is the best player.
Refresh my memory though. So who's going to win the East? The Bucks?
No, probably the Nets now.
Not you, Pat. Who's going to win the East? The Bucks?
They might. They win it every year, and it means nothing, though.
They might. They didn't win it last year.
Yeah, they did.
The Bucks?
Bucks won the East last year.
They were in the finals?
No, the Heat won
I thought you were talking about in the regular season records.
No, win the East.
It depends on who's healthy. Is Tatum ever coming back? Like,
that's a good. No, that's a good point.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, but still, don't make it to the second round.
The Celtics are not winning the East.
Yeah, but don't make it to the second round at least. They'll be a tough out. They'll be a tough out.
The Celtics will be a tough out. They will be in the playoffs.
The Rockets called Danny Ainge and said, "Listen, right now, I will give you James Harden for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and 2 first-round picks." And he said no.
Yeah.
I don't know why. For 1 second, you don't make that trade.
I'm going to tell you why.
Come on.
Jaylen Brown is 24 years old.
Jaylen Brown will never be half as good as James Harden will be at the end of his career.
Danny,
easy.
Just like the fans throughout New England,
Jalen's great,
Boston,
but he's
whoever,
not James Harden.
They overrate their own players.
It's unbelievable, dude.
Crazy.
Jaylen Brown won't be a top 100 player of all time at the end of his career.
James Harden is 32 with a lot of mileage on him.
So what, dude? He wants to win. Him and Tatum? Oh my goodness, that would have been scary.
His production in the last 6 years, he hasn't done
when
it.
Do you want? When do you want to win? When do you want to win later? You're playing for like what the hell? Just do it, dude. Win now. Try to win now. You have a good time. Like this year would have been a good year.
In the future.
Mortgaging what future of losing in the finals again with Jaylen Brown? Because you never win a championship with him as your second best player. Yeah, so what are you talking about?
He doesn't have to be your second best player.
If they get somebody else, I'm just saying, I would have got rid of him for Harden in a heartbeat and 2 picks. With Smart, see you later. Bye.
I'm out on
Get out. No, I love Smart.
But I'm not getting rid of 2 upper echelon defensive players
for James Harden defense. There's 2 guys. That's it. 2 dudes for Harden. That's a steal, bro.
What has their upper echelon defense done for you in the past 3 years?
I mean, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals twice and lost.
Once.
In the last 3 years.
Once.
Twice. They lost to the Cavaliers a couple years ago.
Oh, they were against the Heat.
And then they lost to the Heat last year.
Okay, so you know what? You're right. The bubble. I keep forgetting about the bubble.
But it doesn't. They're not going to win a championship with Brown and Tatum.
No.
Right? Tatum and Harden? Tatum and Harden would have been a great
dude. Doesn't win you a shit. What are you going to win with
Tatum? Why not? In the East, dude? When you're going against losers,
you'll get to the finals and lose.
Maybe LeBron gets hurt. He's old. I don't know. I'm just saying.
You're not losing. As much as Smart's a good, like gritty, hard boss.
You'd have
love him. He doesn't.
Giannis and Middleton.
All right. So your starting lineup is Harden, Thompson.
No, I don't care about starting lineup. It's all about best 2. No, I don't care about starting lineup, though. It's the best 2. You got Giannis and Middleton, and then you'd have Durant and Kyrie, and then Harden and Tatum. I'd take Harden and Tatum.
So
in the Eastern Conference, you can get to the finals. Jaylen Brown and Tatum got to the Eastern Conference Finals. You tell me Harden and Tatum couldn't?
At that point, though, it does come into the rest of the.
You don't have a lockdown defender anymore. How often does
Smart shoots too much though? Everyone hates him and talks shit.
Also play the other team's best player.
Harden led the league, the playoffs in steals last year, dude. He can D up when he wants.
And how'd that work out for him?
You just said they don't have a defender. I just answered your question. How'd that work out? They didn't win the championship? No, but he led the league in steals the whole time. He led the playoffs in steals.
But who won the championship last year? LeBron James.
Yes. So
it wasn't the team.
Well, you just asked a question. You asked a question. What about the defender? And I answered your question.
There's a lot more to playing defense than just getting steals, right? Say you lead the league in steals.
Steal the ball more than anybody else.
3 as Marcus Smart. What does it matter?
You steal the ball more than anybody else, and you're scoring 35 a game. I mean, that's pretty.
What's your opponent shooting against you?
You just don't like James Harden.
When they drive by
you can say whatever you want right now. You just don't like Harden. You're very biased.
I'm trying to look at all of the different stats.
See, you say you're trying to look at it, but you're not going to change your opinion.
All right.
On it.
What did I say earlier today?
I don't know.
John Stockton,
a lot of things.
Steals all time. Would you put him as the best defensive player that ever played this game?
Apparently, he was really good at defense.
Where would you put John Stockton's defense compared to the guys that he played?
Not the same. That's not what we're talking about. You said
the league in steals, so he must have said defense.
You said we'd lose Smart's defense,
right?
We'd replace it with the lead leaguer in steals. So in the playoffs,
league leader in
playoff leader in steals. He was the playoff leader in steals. So you're saying that's what? Well, how could we possibly replace Marcus Smart's defense?
Because there's more defense than just steals.
Yeah, I get that, but Harden can play good D is the point. So
when he feels like it,
James Harden is 20 times better than Marcus Smart's defense could ever be. So it doesn't matter. Oh, Smart can play some good D. Harden's 20 times more valuable.
He's borderline. He's a
I'm not saying
liability on the offensive end.
But you're not just losing Marcus Smart. You're also losing
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown is another good defender.
So what?
Jaylen Brown
you have James Harden.
He's a borderline jag. I like Jaylen Brown. He does good.
You're seriously trying to sit here and say you'd be better off having Jaylen Brown than James Harden?
I would say I would
because
rather
of his defensive capabilities
years than James Harden for the next 5 years. Absolutely.
You're not planning for 5 years. You're trying to win this year. That's why you make the trade for Harden, is what I'm saying.
No, you know what?
Now.
What does Harden have left on his contract?
Hey, especially
2 years at least.
If you're New Jersey,
New Jersey wants to win right now.
But here's the thing:
this year,
hold on. If you are New Jersey or in New York, is the same type of thing. You are a destination.
New York, who?
If you're the Knicks or you're
nobody wants to go to the Knicks.
No, listen to me. If you play in New York, if you're a team,
but nobody wants to go to the Knicks right now, though. It's different. It's different. Back in the day, yes,
but you are still New York City is a destination under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
If times were right and it wasn't COVID,
yeah, definitely.
You could go out and do whatever you wanted and be able to post.
They just hate Jimmy Dolan, though. I feel like it's just kind of tainted.
Jimmy Dolan is a piece of garbage.
That's what I'm saying. So the Knicks, I get what you're saying with New York,
but
the Jets and stuff, but
no, you're going to be able to attract. Basketball is a different animal than football.
No, I know, but
if you
yeah.
are a team based out of New York City, you're going to be able to attract a lot of these different people. So you're not mortgaging your future because same as LA, New York and LA, you're the two biggest media markets in the world.
Celtics got a lot of draft picks. They could have done something. I think Harden. I think they should have pulled the trigger on that. Instead, you let the Nets get better. You let the Nets get better. Now you have no chance of winning. Now you have zero chance. When do you want to win it? You want to win it in 4 years? Oh, what? When Luka is running the league? Oh, okay. Plan for the future because Jaylen Brown's gonna D up Luka in the playoffs. That's gonna happen in the finals.
Danny sits there and goes, and and this is reflected in the team announcers and all these other people that cover the team.
Way too much.
The chemistry is so important. The chemistry.
James Harden's not an amazing play. Like, what are you talking about?
I like Marcus Smart. I love Marcus Smart. What Marcus Smart does, at least a portion of it, can absolutely be replaced. Because as much as he's great on defense, he's a liability on the offensive end because he thinks he's a superstar.
No matter how good Marcus Smart is, he'll never be
traded. I have every confidence that he will be traded this year. Because
they should have traded him 3 years ago.
No.
Hold on. How many
he actually led the league in 3-point percentage during the regular season last year. I'm just saying. Everyone says he shoots too much. He did shoot better. He's still not that good, though.
But here's the thing.
He's at his cap. He will never get any better.
Ceiling, yes.
That's it. He will never get any better than he is.
But he's also very young.
How many times has Marcus Smart been involved in a trade
every time
where they go, oh, we can't trade Marcus Smart.
I know. It's Boston.
What?
It's Boston. It's so
What?
stupid.
What are you
it's
talking
so dumb.
about?
I think he gets traded this year. I think he gets traded at the deadline.
I think, but if you trade him, you better get a goddamn center, is all I'm saying. If you trade him, you better get a center.
Center, point guard, shooting guard, stud. As long as it's a stud.
We don't need a point guard or a shooting guard or a small forward.
Don't sell him for nothing.
We need a center.
Don't sell him for nothing, but get somebody that's going to be.
There's no centers available. There's nobody available. That's the thing, too. Everybody has signed contracts.
You know why?
All these good players are not available. Who are they going to even get?
Because the good teams go, whoa, we can't get rid of this guy. He's a center and can shoot.
Yeah, let's sign him.
We're not letting him go. And you know the last time we had one of those was? Because I don't.
Paul Pierce?
He was never a center.
No.
Oh, you're saying as a center. Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Kevin McHale?
I don't know. McHale? Parrish? Like, since then, like, how have we had that guy? Like, and you know what? It's crazy. But Marcus Smart, I love Marcus Smart. He's a gritty player.
Smart and Brown in a sandwich. See you later. Bye, James Harden. See you later, dude. I don't believe. I cannot believe.
I'll drive.
Yeah, I'll drive you to the airport. I'll pack your bags, bro. I'm sorry. I love you. You're a good player, but it's not even comparison.
I want somebody good.
So, anyways, Lakers are number 1 in the league, still 11-4. Just suffered a bad loss last night to Golden State. Big lead, blew one of their biggest leads they've ever had. One of the biggest leads LeBron James ever had in his career. So, definitely a tough game, and he missed the game-winning 3. So, that was tough. That was a hard game, but they're still the best team in the league. Whatever, it's an anomaly. Nuggets playing tonight. Nuggets are playing. Actually, I forgot who the Nuggets are playing. Let me just double check.
Yeah, but see, that's part of my point, Dave.
What?
How long do you think the Lakers are going to be the best team in the league?
At least one more year. They got this year and then next year.
Okay.
And then Luka's going to take over the league. So really, you have no time in between. You got to win this year or next year. That's it, because then Luka's the face of the franchise.
You stand a better chance of making it to the finals, keeping Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, or at least Jaylen Brown, or trading them for Harden and then he's gone in 2 years.
You have a better chance of making it this year because now the Nets have 3 unbelievable players, and there's no way you're going to make it.
They're not making the finals as constituted.
If they had gotten Harden, they would have had a much better chance, is what I'm saying.
The Lakers.
I didn't say they'd win the championship. I said make it to the finals.
That's what I'm asking.
You know what? But no, they wouldn't beat the Lakers. But you have a chance that maybe somebody gets hurt, and then the Lakers maybe get knocked out before you get to the finals. You know what I mean? That's your only hope.
If some doors open
up, they beat them next year.
They could maybe beat them next year because I can't sit here and say how good LeBron's going to be next year. I assume he's going to be just as good, but I can't. He's going to be 38, 39. You know, I can't assume that. But this is him being so old right now. This is your best chance these 2 years. They should have pulled the trigger. I don't get it.
I think they stand a better chance against Luka.
But here's the thing: just the fact that they didn't make the trade. Now the Nets are better, so now their chances go down.
The Nets are better. I don't think they are.
Then you're just out of your mind, dude. That's literally the craziest thing you've ever said.
I'll tell you why.
Because they don't have a bench and they don't do this. It doesn't matter, man.
So tell us why, and then let's move on.
It doesn't matter, dude.
Tell us why, and then we'll move on.
They're going to limp into the playoffs, and no one's going to beat them. They have the best talent. It doesn't matter.
Talk about Kyrie is a head case who thinks he's an alpha.
Said it. What else?
Yes, you've said that.
Anything new?
He's still good on the court.
What not? We haven't seen him play with this team.
No, I already said it's a chemistry experiment, a la Chris Broussard.
I don't think they're better. They're better without Kyrie.
Your opinion is duly noted.
There's no way for you to know that because he hasn't been there.
I can't even say the word right now.
You have literally no basis for comparison.
Disagree.
No basis for comparison.
I'm pretty sure the Vegas favorite to win
last couple of years. The teams that he has played on have a better record without him.
Dude, they have the Vegas just made him the favorites.
No, you don't.
The last couple of years, every team that he has been on has had a better record without him.
Okay, except they haven't played.
We're better without him.
You don't have a basis for comparison. That is a
I do have I'm telling you right now that without Kyrie, his teams are better.
Okay, he hasn't played for this
maybe
team
in the last 2 years, but he did hit.
There's two separate
win a championship. You forget that he won a championship and had multiple 30, 40-point games.
Matt, you're talking about recent similar.
Yes, maybe the last couple of years. He won a championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers. In his third year, obviously he had LeBron. He still made one of the best shots ever in the history of the NBA Finals.
Playing for the Celtics record was better.
So that's one instance. That's correct. So what? He didn't fit there.
A better record without Kyrie. These are.
I don't know if he had a better. I don't know if the Nets had a better record.
Yeah, but he doesn't play for the Celtics
I don't know.
anymore. So
but last year with the Nets had a better record without him. That's 2.
I think the year before.
So what was the percentage of the season that he played? 'Cause it wasn't the whole thing.
No. I think the year before. They finished with a better record, but with Kyrie, I think they won more games last year than they did 2 years ago. I could be wrong because I don't know if they made the playoffs last year, but he was hurt for a lot of the games. Regardless,
he was playing with Durant
in 12 games he's played, his team is 5-7 for the Nets.
Last year?
Nets for the Nets.
Played 12 games last year?
I'm reading this to you.
You didn't say when that's from.
Total.
In 2 years, he's played 12 games?
For several different teams.
Let me finish my sentence.
No, that doesn't.
12 Nets games he's played in. The team is 5-7. They are 13-13 without him. They have a better record without him than with him.
What are these games that you're referencing? He's been in the team for 2 years. You're talking about 12 games. What are you talking about?
The Celtics season as well.
No, I'm not.
He said Nets. He said Nets.
The 12 Nets games he's played in, his 5-7.
With Harden and Durant?
They are 13-13 without him.
Yeah, no,
That
I hear you. You don't have to,
doesn't
enunciate
make
that way, but
any sense.
no, sometimes.
No,
Sometimes
the Celtics were better without him.
So Kyrie's played 12 games for the Brooklyn Nets?
Without him, they got blown out in the second round with him.
Pat, you have no idea what you're talking about. Kyrie's played more than 12 games for the Brooklyn Nets in 2 seasons. What are you talking about? What are you what do you 13-13? So they've only played 26 games without him in 2 seasons?
This is the first thing that came up.
What do you're just okay, this is ridiculous. I'm not having this conversation
This
anymore.
is like you making a point
I'm not
about
having this
hockey where
I'm
you-
not having this
like-
conversation.
but-
This is
but
absolutely
again,
ridiculous.
It's not with the
You're
same
just pulling
team.
out random things from certain points. I'm not going to
It's
listen to this
anecdotal,
crap.
but if he hasn't played for
I'm
this
not
with the
listening
same
to this.
lineup, then it's not necessarily equal.
Whatever. The Nuggets are playing the Thunder at home.
2 different teams in the same situation both times.
The Nuggets are playing at home tonight against the Thunder. They're giving 10. And the Jazz are playing the Pelicans, giving 7 or 6. It was 6. It's actually 6.5 now. So I got Nuggets and Jazz both given. I took both favorites. So we'll see what happens with that. Steph Curry looking really, really good. I think the Warriors have a good chance.
Oh, you did say Steph.
Steph, I think the Warriors have a good chance. Well, Seth looking good too for the Sixers. Sixers were leading the lead. They were the best team in the league for a little bit.
What do you have on? Do you have any money on these games tonight? NBA?
I do at Nuggets and Jazz. I just said,
You
yeah.
have the Nuggets and Jazz. That's
Give
the
him
only-
10.
the only one.
Give him 10 and there's only 2 games tonight.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday night. Yeah, there's not a lot of games usually on Tuesdays. So
Father left is Tuesday.
I have both of those tonight. That was a pop special. We agreed on that. So, yeah, that's about it. I think that's it for me for NBA.
Nuba, NBA, Jimmy Dolan, Shake and Bake. They probably would have never made a movie about him if they realized he was going to be such a scumbag.
Ohio State needs to
Jimmy
pick
Dolan.
up their. Ohio State needs to play a little better than they are right
I
now.
think tonight was the first time that a-hole has been brought up on our show. Jimmy Dolan. I think tonight is the first
No,
time
I think
anybody's
I
I
referenced
don't
him
know.
once or twice.
Jimmy Dolan's an a-hole. He plays the guitar. He has a band, a shitty band. And when people
All right. So I have
sorry, go ahead.
the updated numbers. That was from last year. Currently,
No, so wait, hold on. Are we going back to this shit that we already moved on from? I thought we don't do
12
that. No.
with 18-19 without for the Nets.
We done. No, we just
So
fucking
4
talked
games
about
under
it.
500 with them.
Yeah, whatever, dude. You're biased against Kyrie too. You don't like Kyrie. You don't like
Yeah,
James
those
Harden. You
numbers-
don't like
those
Kevin
numbers-
Durant.
yeah, the numbers-
You're just
Look
literally.
at yours and we move
You're just-
on when it's something you don't like.
You're just
Fuck
biased.
that!
You're biased against all these.
I'm not biased against him. It is a fact.
You are.
It's the same
Yes, you
crap back
are. You
around.
don't like Kyrie. That's a
Guess
fact.
what? You're beating the
You
dead
don't
horse.
like
Pat.
Kyrie.
We're
You don't
beating the
like
dead
James
horse,
Harden.
please.
I
Fine.
can't.
No. It's okay. We're gonna go back 5
You have
minutes
your own
later.
opinion. You don't have to like everybody.
Of course,
but yeah.
everybody has their own
Fact,
opinion.
they play better without him. It's
So-
a fact.
So why are you making that point, Pat? Because you like him as a player?
No,
Because it corresponds to what I said before. I don't think they are better now than they were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but
You
also never seen
are
these guys.
insane, dude. Let's move on. You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I just gave you
Literally
all the numbers,
insane.
but I still don't know what I'm talking about.
No, you don't. They have James Harden on their team. You're crazy.
Okay,
You're literally crazy.
You've never seen him play with the guys.
It
that are
doesn't
on his
matter
team
who
now.
they have. It doesn't matter if they
Never
play
seen
together or not. It's crazy talk.
It's an incomparable specimen. If you say, well, this one has 9 pounds of iron and 4 pounds of acetic acid, or whatever it is.
Played in the Nets last year with Jared Allen and Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert. None of those people are on the team anymore. So
Right. And they were Dinwiddie still's on the team. He's just
yeah,
not.
he's not playing. They couldn't trade him.
So what? Dinwiddie? That's the
he's pretty good.
that's a straw that stirs the drink. Is Dinwiddie?
He's pretty good.
Well, they
You're right.
made the playoff with him without Kyrie.
Yeah, that's
So-
the year before.
This is almost going back to a point that we made. That you're saying how garbage they're going to be this year, even though they made the playoffs beforehand. That's the point that we made. You said it was a bad.
Made the playoffs without Harden, Kyrie, and
So, I
Durant.
don't-
Now they have
you're-
Harden, Kyrie, and
You
Durant.
go back to the same stuff that we said, only when it fits what you want to say.
No, I said I didn't think it was going to be garbage. I said they weren't going to be.
You said they're not going to be. They're not better than they were 2 days
Live
ago.
in your bubble. Live in your bubble. Live in your bubble.
Yeah, I live in a bubble, Dan.
Yeah, you don't like to hear what we say. When it's something against what you said, you move on from it and
What?
talk over me and
All right,
move
if
on.
you can give me numbers to back up what you're going to say.
Oh, numbers?
Have
About
at
how-
it. Yeah. Give it.
When we talked about the hockey thing and I got pounced on 2 weeks in a row.
One thing one game.
No, there's been one game postponed and 19 teams that have had issues and had to sit at least one guy out. Do you think having to sit one guy in a starting roster doesn't affect the rest of the team?
Which
Is that
guys
what
in
you're
the
telling me?
starting roster?
Oh, dude, I could go down the line.
Please do.
Coleman. No, I'm not going to go down every one because I didn't have my wrist was starting to get tired as I was going.
Like, who
But
are
I'm not going to make the point. No. What all I'm saying is, I have no problem listening to what you have to say on something. If you want to keep revisiting something because you think you have a good point, that's okay. But don't shut me down and try to make me seem like a fucking asshole when I do it. And just move on from it and talk over me and move on to the next thing while I'm still talking because you don't like what I'm saying.
like you
and
are.
you don't do the same for us. You go back to something that we stopped talking about 5 minutes before to prove your point. Like, that's ridiculous.
You're saying
If you can't sit there and understand that, go, when I did this to him 25 minutes ago, and now I'm doing the same thing, but being even worse about it because we moved on from this. And instead of listening to what the other people were saying during this time, I was spending my time looking up ways to disprove what he said because I have a better point. That's ridiculous. And you shut me right down and just keep going. That's messed up. That's fucked up. That's not equitable. It's got to be equitable. I don't mind being a dead horse. I don't mind going back to things, but don't shut me down when you're not going to impose the same things on yourself, which we tried to do and you would not allow it because you're the facilitator.
Again, 900 times I've said this.
That's what it is.
And 900 times I've said this. If you're going to come at me and make a point, bring some evidence.
Oh, what? That there were 19 teams that had at least one guy out?
Who?
Is that not evidence?
The backup goalie, the equipment manager.
All right, shut up for a second. The Golden Knights, the Bruins, the Hurricanes, the Avalanche, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Red Wings, the Oilers, the Kings, the Wild, the Predators, the Devils, the Islanders, the Flyers, the Penguins, the Sharks, the Canucks, the Jets, the Rangers. All of those teams had at least one guy out, and the Dallas Stars had 17 guys out. I can give you names for every. Okay.
What Bruin? What Bruin? Tell me what Bruin is out.
Carson Coleman,
who wasn't going to crack the starting lineup anyway. So
was a guy that was going to, but had to.
No, wasn't. He was never
according to what I saw. Hey, no. If we want to go off of random things, like you look off of random sites and go, huh, well, this is my evidence because this is the first thing that came up. Apparently, that holds on this show. Carson Coleman. That was the Sporting News article that I saw listed him specifically. There were 19 teams that had issues with COVID. You told me that it wasn't going to happen.
No,
you tried to make me seem like an asshole.
And
that happened.
And it has
deny me that 19 teams had COVID issues. Tell me it didn't happen because you're a liar.
I didn't say it didn't. I said it wasn't going to be as bad as the NBA. Now, if you have one guy,
that's your opinion. That's my opinion
it's
too.
A fact.
Your opinion was it's not going to be as bad, but it has been so far.
It hasn't.
On a game in the first 5 days of the season.
It hasn't
even been a week.
It hasn't been as bad.
It hasn't been a week.
Why? I'll tell you exactly why. You named one guy who had.
I didn't. Hold on. I didn't say it was going to be the same. I didn't. No. I did not say it was going to be the same. Do not put words in my mouth. I did not say it was going to be the
guy
same.
on the Bruins. That's what you named, right? There's
Yeah,
one
there's
guy.
one
On the
guy.
Bruins, you got it, right?
19 teams have had at least one guy.
So you had one guy on the Bruins, right? One?
Yeah, in the first 5 days, yeah.
One guy on the Bruins.
Yeah.
How many guys also had to be quarantined?
I don't know the specifics of that.
Zero,
except for that guy.
So one, but no.
Hey, you know what? You know what? Honest to goodness,
we're in quarantine 2 years ago for the Celtics.
Hey, I don't know how many guys, and years ago does not matter right now because
it wasn't years ago. Wasn't years ago.
Point.
3 days ago.
The whole point was that you told me that it was not going to be an issue in hockey because
I said it was not going to be as bad as the NBA.
It's early to say it, and that's an opinion. Same as what I said.
I can tell you already.
No, you present your opinions as facts, as always. No, it is going to be.
And I'll tell you exactly why.
You think. Just say I think.
Tell you why
Just say I think. You don't know.
I will tell you right now.
You got a crystal ball? You got a crystal ball? You know?
I can tell you
the future already? You don't know. You don't know.
I can tell you right now. Would you like to hear, or are you going to keep talking over me? Okay. So you said there were 19 teams that had one guy.
At least one. Some had more.
One guy on the Bruins, right?
One guy on the Bruins. Yes, that was one. That had one.
So using the analog for the NBA, let's look at the Boston Celtics. How many guys?
No, we're not talking about basketball. We're not talking about basketball.
Because I said it wouldn't be as bad as the NBA.
That's fine. I didn't make any comparison of that. Right, I said it would be something that had to be an issue.
Right.
It would be an issue. It has to be.
And I said it wouldn't be as bad as the NBA, and you said, yes, it would.
Bullshit, I did. You're lying. I didn't say that.
You did.
Never said it. Never, ever, ever,
those specific words in that order?
No, I never actually said that it was going to be the same as basketball.
You did.
No, I didn't.
You made the same point, and you were comparing millionaires and having that lifestyle. We did. We actually did.
No, I actually said guys going out to dinner would probably be just about as big of an issue as anything. Right. And it's not that I'm saying it's going to be the same. It'd be silly. We all know the socializing within the NBA circles is bigger than the NHL.
And that's what I said. And you said it didn't matter.
My point was that it has to be an issue, and it's going to be. Obviously, the brass of the league thinks it's going to be as well. They're taking measures against it. I'm telling you that just because it's hockey and the guys have a different mentality, it's not going to be something that's not going to affect the season, seeing as it had an effect on every other sports season and every single other sport that's around in America.
Right.
And what I said,
no, we are spinning our wheels. But my point is, don't try to shut me down on something and try to make me seem like an idiot if you're going to go back on stuff on your own. And again, not paying any attention to what Dave and I said about the NBA, about the teams.
I did pay attention.
Oh, dude, you did. Come on now.
And I'll tell you why. Because I come back and I bring numbers to back up my argument. I bring instances of this is when this happened.
Yeah, except I've never seen the guys play together on the net, so you have no basis.
I'm talking about a specific player and how he has impacted his
personal biases are. Yes, you're right. That's exactly what you do.
No, I said
I see what he did before, so I know for a fact what he's going to do in the future. Wrong. That's not
no, it's a common denominator. It's a common factor. If you have the same problem over and over and over again, and there's one thing that happened that is common to every single one of those issues.
Baker Mayfield, yeah, he had a pretty good season. Let's get off this.
Yeah, how'd Baker do in the playoffs?
Yeah, into the second round of the playoff, he did pretty good. He did pretty good. Almost beat the Chiefs, so he did pretty good. So I don't know what. Where's your point there, dude? You did pretty good. You said he was. Oh, he's sucky. He has 3 head coaches.
I didn't say he sucked. I said I'm not impressed by him.
What's the common denominator? It's Baker Mayfield. He's the problem. Blah, blah, blah. He's not. He's a great player.
Showed himself.
He's not great. He's not great. There's nothing great.
About he's a great quarterback.
He's not great. He showed himself to be in a different class than what I thought he was.
If he was great, he would be in an upper echelon. He had the best running game to back.
Does that mean Allen's on a second echelon?
He finished second running game. That's second best running game.
Oh, okay. Where'd he finish in passing?
Not bad.
Not exactly sure.
I
would record when trailing by 8 points in the second half of a game.
What does that
have to do with? What do you do? You're mixing things together.
What?
Again,
I don't know a lot of quarterbacks that have a good record in that same scenario, except for like the great players. So
he's 0-10. 0-10, which means he can't lead his team back from behind from 8 points down.
He's good Lamar Jackson. You think he's bad?
Drew Brees.
I don't think he's good in the playoffs.
So you think Lamar's bad quarterback?
No, I think he's bad in the playoffs. He can't perform in the playoffs.
What about Drew Brees?
So I don't know why you're bringing up other people.
Drew Brees is the all-time leading passer. I think he's pretty good. He had a great game.
He's won ass Super Bowl, lost in
I think
the first or
Drew's
second
very
round a bunch of
overrated.
times.
I think he's very overrated.
No.
It's unbelievable. I don't think he's that good. Never
He's got a
has
lot
been.
of yards.
Seriously, trying to compare Drew Brees to Baker Mayfield right now?
No, you're the one that
Do you know?
brings up other guys.
You know why he won
That
once?
Baker is good.
He
Because
won.
It was a scandal. And they
No,
were cheating.
he won once because Peyton Manning was the bigger choke artist than he was.
Who also won 2 Super Bowls with 2 different teams.
Well, he won
that
one
second
and a
one
half.
was BS. The man couldn't throw the ball more
Von
than 8 yards.
Miller.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
But he still won with 2 different teams.
That's true. It's true. He did win a ring.
You can't
but-
take the facts away.
He won
but
2
it had
rings.
Anything to do with that
I'm
second
saying
one?
he won a ring with
his arm.
He won a ring with 2 different teams. Yes, he did. But
Yeah, 2.
No, and the point is, if you are a solid quarterback,
He's right. Bow down. Yeah, we got it.
no, if you are a good quarterback and you face a deficit, you can bring your team back.
another guy you don't like, Baker Mayfield. You
No.
don't like James Harden. You don't like Kyrie Irving. You don't like Kevin Durant or Baker Mayfield.
There's a reason in my job. There's a reason in my job where we're required to take a class about unconscious
I don't know who
bias.
you do like in this league. Honestly, I don't know who you like.
Hockey
You
players.
don't like anyone.
Hockey players.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I
You don't
like a lot of
any-
players.
You don't like LeBron either. You don't like LeBron either. I don't know who you
this
like.
guy, you don't like that
Talk
guy.
shit about AD. I don't
That's
know
not a
who
hockey-
you even like.
that's
Why?
not a hockey
Talk shit about AD.
You do. You did before. You said he's a bitch and he can't win in the Pelicans and blah blah, which is true. But
You said he wasn't even number 2 or 3.
I just
No,
don't
I
know.
wouldn't-
We had an argument about this.
I'm just saying. You just said negative things about so many people. You don't like Allen Iverson. Like, I really just don't know who you like in basketball.
I've always said
Magic Johnson. Like,
everyone thought they were. Allen Iverson, the guy took 40 shots a game and would hit 8 of them.
dude, he was 6'3". Go watch him at Georgetown. He was absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, his later time in the Sixers, he was a little full of himself. But watch his early games when he crossed up
6'3".
Jordan. He was unbelievable, dude. He was an unbelievable basketball
6'3",
player.
and so was Steve Nash.
So what? I'm just saying. Allen Iverson was an unbelievable player. You just don't like him. So you like Steve Nash and John Stockton, but you don't like AI? I just
I
don't
didn't
get
care
it.
for Stockton. I didn't care for Stockton.
You just made a whole point about how good he was earlier. You don't like him?
I didn't care for him. He's good. I'm not going to deny he wasn't
I
good.
just don't know who you like. It's crazy. You literally badmouth so many players. Like I really don't know.
I bring up if somebody does something.
You have negative things to make people look bad. Like you never say good
Those are
things
basically the
about
only stats
players.
that you ever
You
had
never
is
say
how-
good things
how
about guys in the
crappy a
NBA.
guy is.
I've never heard you praise anyone. Literally never. Except for Jaylen Brown earlier
players.
for some crazy
Oh,
reason.
you're right. I never said anything.
Brown
I didn't pick Luka Doncic to be my MVP this year. You're right.
You've never praised him and said
There
he had
had
a
to
great
be
game.
Somebody that you picked.
It's just crazy. I just don't
He's gonna
understand.
be the best player in the league. Like
That's
I'm
not-
not praising him. I love Luka. Luka's
That's
amazing.
not a really crazy thing to say. He is going to be the best player. He is going to be the next face of the franchise.
No, I said this year.
Also,
He's going to win MVP this year. Yes,
Also-
he's a favorite to win MVP.
Also, I know he didn't play the whole year. Baker Mayfield threw for more yards than Drew Brees did, and Joe Burrow, and Cam Newton, and Carson Wentz,
Whoa,
and
he
Lamar
threw for more
Jackson.
yards than
Oh,
Cam.
and Lamar Jackson. Or is he a schlub too? Is he a schlub too? Lamar Jackson's a scrub. Threw for more yards than him. He's not the
So?
worst. Listen, I was out on Baker Mayfield. The season watching.
2 picks in his last 7 games.
Hey, scoreboard. You got to look. What are you doing? He got them into the
Franchise
playoffs.
won no games 3 years ago. 0.
They
Won the
smoked.
second round of the
They
playoffs first time in 50
smoked
years.
the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are one of the most
Absolutely
organizationally
annihilated the Steelers.
sound teams that there are in professional sports that have a good
Yeah, the defense was amazing.
We've
That
had about three head coaches in the last 40 years. Like,
First play
come
didn't
on.
really have anything to do with defense. That was just
But
a
I'm
terrible
saying.
snap.
no, but their defense played.
No,
well.
they did. They had a couple lucky plays, is what I was saying, but they did play really, really well.
Mayfield-
Browns are a great team, dude.
Mayfield's
They're
no
not
scrub.
great. You got it. They're a good.
Listen,
They're not
there's
great. They're not great.
there's amazing, there's great, there's good, there's awful, there's just a lot of layers. Just
Good.
You're taking when I say him great, you're taking that as number one top. No, that's
No.
like perfect.
It's like good,
No.
great,
And there is
or
no
Great would
perfect
be-
teams.
pretty good, great.
Great would be.
All the playoff teams this year were pretty great teams. Honestly,
No,
except
no.
for my Chicago Bears.
Washington.
I think Washington is going to be really
Heineke?
great.
Heineke?
No.
I could not have been
Their
more
D
impressed
line
with
and
that kid.
Chase. Well, yeah, Heineke's unbelievable, but
They
their
have
D
a
line
good
is
defense. They have a
They're
good
going to draft again this year. They're going to probably bump up their offensive line. They got a couple of picks. I'm really excited. Yeah. I mean, when I say great, I'm just saying like they're an upper echelon team. That's all. That's all I mean.
Upper echelon team. They didn't even win their division.
Not Washington. Maybe that. Okay, so maybe not.
They didn't even win their division. You can't call them great.
Washington?
No. Cleveland. They're not an upper echelon team. They're not.
They kind of are. They kind of are.
They're second tier.
They're upper in the league. They're in the top 10, I think.
They're upper second tier.
There were maybe 4 teams at the beginning of the year that could have won the Super Bowl, and the Browns are not one of them. Because you have the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay.
You know what? I wouldn't.
I guess so. In hindsight,
at the beginning of the season, I would have said the same. Approaching this past weekend, I wouldn't have put it past them because I've seen the Chiefs have shaky games. I've seen the Bucks get smoked by the Saints. There was no sure thing this past weekend. There was no sure thing.
People picked Packers, Rams, Saints,
Packers
Chiefs, and not the Bills.
Packers are going to win the Super Bowl.
I picked the Bills to do well this year.
Packers, of course you did.
So happy they did.
The Packers are the Packers. I'm actually
right now,
I am really, as gross as it feels, and I kind of like
Rodgers is going to win MVP.
I want to scrub a layer off of me when I say this, but I'm stoked that the Bills are doing so good. I love it.
I picked them to win the division. I think I picked obviously KC to win the.
I picked them to win the Super Bowl.
They probably will.
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
To knock them off. I think the
Bills really do. I said it 6 weeks ago. They're the best team in the NFL.
You got a chance to knock them off, the Bills? Yeah. So the Bills are a great team, or they're pretty good, or
they're great. Bills are a great team this year. Yes,
great yet. They're not.
They are great this year. Yes, they have played great. They are a great team.
Played well this year, but they've also had a couple of games that they had no.
So was every other team in the league.
Cardinals.
So was every other team in the league.
I know.
They lost to the Cardinals on a fluky last-second play by an unbelievable
position is what I'm saying. They were that team.
Listen, if they had won that game, I think they would have won 12 in a row right now. If they had won that game too, they won their last 11 out of 12 games. It was like 9 in a row before the playoffs. So
the only teams I can consider great are the teams that have had consistent success.
Because you're just taking the word. You're taking the word like
reference, Dan. Saying, don't throw Cam Newton out there when you're like, oh, well, he had more yards than Newton. Like, that's not good.
Dan talks more crap about Cam Newton than anybody.
I'm your argument. But it doesn't help your argument. Cam had one of the worst seasons as a quarterback.
What are you talking about? Don't bring Cam. What the fuck are you talking about? Cam Newton was trash. I didn't want him on my team.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody brought up Cam Newton.
You did. When you were talking about Baker, you're like, "Oh, Baker, he had more yards than this guy and this guy, Cam Newton."
No, I said he had more yards passing than Drew Brees, and Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson. Hey, dude, I almost had more yards passing than Cam Newton. What the shit would I bring him up for? What are you talking?
I don't know, but you did.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. It never happened.
Okay.
You were probably looking up something else to try to refute something I said while I was talking about that.
Okay, I'll go back and I'll play you the sound.
And so, no, I never. Right. Oh no! Please go back and play me the sound where I said Cam Newton. I'm away.
I will.
No, do it right now, please, because it never happened.
Do it right now. We're in the middle of recording.
Why would I ever bring up Cam Newton?
No, but
Cam Newton was a trash bag, awful quarterback. I never wanted on my team. That threw 5 touchdowns all year. How would I possibly ever say?
I don't know. You were reading off a list. You were reading off a list, and you said Cam Newton.
No, it literally never happened. You heard that. Never happened.
All right, didn't happen.
So wait, are the Bills a great team?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Because they only won one more game than the Browns, so I don't know that one game makes you.
No, they've had one season of success. You can't call them a great team.
I agree to disagree. They're great team.
I'm not a big Josh Allen guy.
Packers suck. Saints suck.
Packers are going to win the Super Bowl.
Saints suck. Okay, the Packers suck. Tampa Bay, great team.
No, I can't give Tampa Bay a great team.
Even though they lost, are a great team. Yes, they are.
No,
Rams are not a great team.
They're a Tampa.
The Rams are not a great team.
Tennessee with a quarterback would be a great team. Yes.
Yes. No. Tennessee with a quarterback would be a great team. They don't have
all of them are. All of them.
I don't.
Except the Bears, unless the Bears get a quarterback, and then they're a great team
If
too.
the Bears,
you have to have success in order to be a great team.
That's your definition. I have a different definition.
Distant success.
No,
you can be a good team.
No. They all made the playoffs.
I think you're
Every
right.
one
Good
of those
teams, yeah.
made the playoffs this year. That is success.
I think they're.
In the
Yeah,
NFL,
so they're good.
that is success.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I wouldn't even call the Bears good. The Bears were decent and snuck.
No, Bears weren't good.
What I said was
Bears were there.
Bears. I said that 3 times. I acknowledged they were the worst playoff team. I said it literally 3 times. Even though they had a better record than Washington, just
by
saying,
a game.
The
Bears have a ridiculously hard division compared to
The
Washington.
Bears were not great. They were there.
The Packers twice. Are you kidding me? Nobody plays the Packers twice besides the shitty Lions and the crappy Vikings. So
Yeah, except they used to win those games.
they haven't won against Rodgers in his career. He destroys.
Yes,
the
they
Bears.
absolutely
No,
have.
you're
I'm
wrong.
No, I'm not
Rodgers
wrong. No,
destroys
no,
the Bears.
no,
Yes,
no.
dude. How are you going to sit here and tell me that Aaron Rodgers doesn't own the Bears?
Because your facts are
What are you talking about? He was 13-3. 13-3.
He
He
was
won the Super Bowl.
18-5.
Aaron Rodgers
19-5. Yeah, he kills the Bears. No.
But he's. What the point was, you said he's never lost to the Bears.
No, it's not what I said. I was being dramatic. He beats the shit out of the Bears. He kills them. They do not have a good record. Aaron Rodgers has annihilated the Bears in his career.
I've seen
He averages 252 yards and has thrown 47
One of the-
touchdowns and
One
10.
of the worst player to team ratios. It's like Brady against
versus the Bills.
versus the
I was
Bills.
gonna say Brady and the Bills.
It's just stupid. How it's stupid. I hate it. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. Oh
But
my goodness.
If there's a great team left,
win MVP.
if there's a great team left in the mix, it's KC. I mean, it's KC.
Well, I would say Casey and Green Bay because Green Bay has had consistent success for the past
What the
decade.
fuck
No,
has
you know
Green
what?
Bay ever done?
Won a championship
10 years ago?
2.
I said they've had consistent
Favre
success
won
for the past 10 years.
Favre? We talking about Favre for it? No.
Rodgers say Favre.
No, Dan did. That's absolutely true.
Rodgers
That
won
was
one. They've won
years ago.
2.
Rodgers won one 10 years ago and has never won an NFC Championship game since then. I think he's only made it to 2 more.
This is the first time he's at home for an NFC.
No,
championship.
ever. He's not good. He's
But
good.
they're in the mix every
No,
year.
I
No,
was.
they're
I
not.
mix
They're not
every
every
year.
year. No, almost
They're in the
every
mix.
year.
They're in the mix.
Almost every year. The Vikings
They're in the
made
mix.
the playoffs and made it further a couple
Right,
years
but
ago.
he's also played in 4 NFC championship. This will
Yeah,
be his
Well, how
fourth.
many has he won?
Doesn't
Exactly. Won 10 years ago.
Yeah,
They haven't
but-
done shit.
So what do you want more? What's
He does
what's
good
more?
right in the regular season. He's like Giannis.
No,
Great.
he's not great. He's not great, but Baker
No,
Mayfield
he
is.
is great.
That's
He
what
is
you're telling me?
great. He is great. But you're saying they have all the success.
I-
They do not. They
They've
do
had
not.
consistent success. They're in the
No,
playoffs.
They're always in the mix.
10
They're
to
always in
15
the
They're
mix.
games
not
a
always
year.
in the mix. They had a
Of course
terrible
they
year
are.
2 years ago. In the last year with what's his name? With the coach of the Cowboys. Terrible year.
Yeah, but you know
Didn't
what?
even make the playoffs.
Hold on though. When do they not make the playoffs?
2
Or
years
at
ago
least
with
in
the
the
Vikings
mix.
and the Minnesota Miracle.
Yeah, that's
The
it.
Bears were better than them 1 year. I'm saying he's been in the playoffs a few times. He's made it to
He's been in the
4
playoffs
times
almost
and
every
lost the
time.
last
Yeah,
3.
he's in the playoffs almost every
I-
year.
Lost
Hey,
the last 3. He's
so-
a choke artist.
so
He's
we're-
like Giannis.
So we're clear. I'm not a big Rodgers guy, and actually, going into this season,
Technically, as a quarterback, I'm not saying he's not
going
great.
into this season, and I used to get crap from Dave, you, and Dad,
Yes,
because I thought
because he's amazing.
Rodgers was cash.
He's amazing.
I thought he was, because last year especially, I thought he
He
was
doesn't
cash
win.
because the way they ran the offense was ridiculous, and it was just like hike it to Aaron and he'll run around in the backfield and hope something happens, and that wasn't the way to run it. They're actually running a legit offense this year.
People talk about him trying to be
They
the
look
goal
good.
of Brady. It's like Brady, you give Brady Devontae Adams. You kidding me? He's never had him.
Right, but
Side
here's
ball,
the,
like,
here's
stop.
the thing. Rodgers has never had a receiver who was drafted in the first round. I think Adams.
Yeah, but we don't.
Devontae Adams is amazing. Tom Brady was drafted.
The
last almost.
wrong thing you can
Doesn't matter
do.
about
The
Browns.
wrong thing you can
DK
do.
Metcalf was a third rounder.
The wrong thing we can do is bring TB12 into this argument. because-
Nobody brought TB12 into the argument.
Oh, except for
Argument today,
Dave,
I
30
saw it.
seconds
I
ago.
saw an argument today about TB12 and Aaron Rodgers. Which is
No,
what
you
I
can't.
said.
No, because you can't. You can't.
Exactly, because it's not even a
Hear
debate.
us.
Because Brady's 10
They
times
said
better.
it.
I'm not even a Brady fan. You guys know that for years.
No, you can't.
Rodgers is an amazing quarterback. He might be one of the best of all time. Technically, the way he throws the ball, the way he moves, reads defensive.
So we're clear. Dave literally just said Tom Brady 30 seconds.
Right.
That's why I said it.
Yes.
Nobody brought into this.
But there's not continued success. You make the playoffs here and there, blah, blah, sweet.
It's not here and there. It's 9 out of 10 years.
What happened last year? What happened last year? What happened last year?
What happened 8 years before that?
Smoked by San Fran.
Okay.
Quarterback threw 8 passes.
McCarthy's a garbage coach. He was not great for the team.
That wasn't the coach last year. McCarthy wasn't the
So
coach.
they're not great, but the Browns are. Where were the Browns last year? And the year before, 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 and the year before.
0 games, and then 1 game, and then 7, and then win a playoff game. That's an absolutely unbelievable.
Okay, so they have as many. All right, so they have as many playoff wins since 1994 as Rodgers had Super Bowls.
You're talking about the Browns, dude. The Browns are always been bad.
You can't say they're great after one winning season.
Now they are. Nick
No,
Chubb,
they're not.
Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield, that offensive line, their defense, Myles Garrett. They're a great team.
No, they're not. They're a good team.
How are they
Awesome
not?
team.
Because you're a hater. That's all.
No, they're a
Yes,
good
no,
team.
that is. They're a great team. I don't care.
They're a good
You
team.
can say whatever you. That's your opinion. I'm saying they're great.
They're
You're
not
gonna tell
great.
me-
What have they
You're
done?
not going to tell me that I cannot say they're a great team.
They're
You're
not a
gonna-
great team.
You're not going to sit here and tell me that. So all day, whatever, say whatever you want. They're fucking great. I love them. They're great.
not great.
They
You can
are
love
great.
them all you
Yes,
want.
They are.
They're not
They're
a great team.
Yeah, that's your opinion, dude.
No, it's a fact. One playoff win in one playoff win in 56 years does not make you a good team.
They're great. No, I didn't say good. I said great.
So
No, it doesn't even make you a good
had
team.
56 years and they
That's
got to
your
the
opinion.
second round.
Yeah,
so
you're an idiot, dude.
So
What are you talking about?
no. Every team
Do they have 3 wins?
Every-
What are you talking about?
every
dude?
team that didn't make it to
They
the
won
second
10
is not
games.
good.
They won a playoff game for the first time in 50 years. Yes,
Yeah.
they're a great team. They will go
One
down
season
as
makes
one
you
of the best
great.
teams in Browns history. That's a great team. That'll be in the record
great,
books
great.
because
No,
they won.
they won
No.
10 championships.
Great's overstating.
It's a great team.
They won 10 championships.
I
This
can
team
use
is
great
nothing
however I
compared.
want. I can use great however I want,
Yeah,
and I'm
sometimes
using it. I
it's
don't
applied
care.
correctly.
You're not going to
It's
sit here and tell me I can't. I don't care, dude.
They're not.
What are you talking about? You keep saying
Because
they're not.
great.
You keep
Dave.
saying
They
they're
didn't
not.
win their own division.
You can't say that. You can't
Yeah,
say
they
they're not.
didn't win their division. They're not great. They were a good
what?
team. They were a solid.
Steelers started
they-
11-0. Who's going to win that division? What are you talking about? Terrible point. Terrible point. They were in
Why
the same
was it
division
terrible? Who won the division? Did they
and
win?
they still made the playoffs.
But that doesn't make them great. The Bears made the playoffs.
Really good.
Dude, I'm all
They
set.
were a good team. They played well.
Okay, Pat. Again.
They're not
Okay,
great.
Pat.
They're
Sure.
good. They're
Sure,
really,
Pat.
really
Sure,
good.
Pat. Sure. Yup. Whatever you
I
say,
can't
Pat.
disagree with him.
I can't even get it. I can't even say they're great because every time he just says no.
Because they're not, Dave.
Oh, okay, Pat. Fine. This is ridiculous, dude. I can't do this shit. This is ridiculous.
If it's
dude.
one of his
This is
favorites,
seriously ridiculous.
I think
man.
we're
This is getting ridiculous.
we're
with
looking
your-
at
this is Dictator Pat. Dictator Pat. Whatever he
You're
says
using the
goes.
word wrong.
I can't get a word in. I can't say something without being told I'm wrong. Oh, okay, I'm wrong. Okay, all right, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Yep.
I think we're arguing over
This is ridiculous. Yes, because of my use of the word. It's ridiculous. Absolutely childish.
He
This
knows.
is ridiculous.
He knows it.
No, I don't know the difference. I'm not a 31-year-old man. I don't know the difference between good and great and amazing and spectacular and perfect and all. I don't know the difference. So,
They're not an all-time
Pat, you're
team,
right,
but
Pat. You're right. Okay.
Right.
You
So-
made your point. You made your point.
That's Brown's
Okay.
team,
Guy.
but not great.
Jesus
Not
Christ. So ridiculous, dude. I'm not allowed to use certain words on the show. Sorry, folks. You guys listen to the
Oh,
show.
my God.
I'm
All
not
right.
allowed to use the word great anymore. Can't say
No,
great.
that's what I said. That's
I have to get a
exactly what I
technical
said.
dictionary term and meet up with Pat's conditions of the word before I
Yep.
can use it. So
That's
let
what
me
I
get
said. I
great.
said
I'm
you
gonna-
can't use the word great.
I'll put whatever I said in writing before the show next time. I'll put it.
You're right. You're right. I said you
Oh
can't.
no, you are right. You are right.
Nope, that's
You are right.
All right. So playoff picks.
Tough word to throw around. Great. Yeah.
I think.
Oh my God, this is a joke.
Good and great is a little.
All right. Anyways, all right. Playoff picks. Who do you guys got in the final 4 games here?
Bucks,
Oh my God.
Chiefs, Packers,
Bucks, Bills.
Bills.
So you have the Bucks and the Packers?
Just named all the
I keep
teams.
forgetting they're playing against each other. I'm sorry.
Bucks.
Yeah, I said 4 games. I meant 4 teams.
If you don't know there's 4 teams, then there's something wrong with
I
it.
know there's 4 teams. I'm using my heart because I've been more impressed. I had to take a little bit of a turn on the Packers because of how they've been playing and the fact that they're running a more disciplined defense or offense rather, and that they're actually running plays and not just having them run around and scramble and try to figure things out.
When have they ever done that?
Oh, last season. You didn't watch last season.
Talking about Aaron Rodgers?
Yes. They would hike it to him, and he would basically kind of scramble around the backfield looking for something to happen.
Dude. He had the most throwaways last year. He didn't do any scrambling.
That's all he did.
Throw the ball away.
The planning was so garbage last year. He threw the ball away so much because the plan was like, all right, it was the running game.
Pretty sure he takes the least amount of hits in the league, dude.
Brady got sacked one time last.
Well, I
didn't get hit again. He got hit in the first quarter. He got sacked. Didn't get sacked again. The rest of the
Brady
game.
gonna win the game. Brady gonna win the game.
He's not gonna lose to that pussy Aaron Rodgers.
And the Chiefs are gonna win.
Not gonna lose to that pussy Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think Brady wins. I think the Bucks win. There might be some questionable officiating if it gets close, but
the balls better be pumped up good, or else he's gonna hear about it. Gosh,
hey, Rodgers inflates his, Brady deflates his, so we'll see what happens.
We don't care.
so I think it's going to be Brady and Josh Allen in the Super Bowl, because that's a good storyline. It's a good storyline if he plays Mahomes too, but
They wanted Rodgers and Brady. They got that, so I don't know. I think they're satisfied at this point with whatever else they can try to maneuver. So whatever.
well, Dan, you have wrestling stuff?
He's just running out really quick. He'll be right back in like 2 seconds, maybe.
All right, well, I'm going to run an ad then while we're waiting.
Let's run an ad.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
All right, so Dan's still not back. So just waiting for Dan to come back so we can do the final wrestling thing. So while we're waiting, we are going to be putting up in the group a spreadsheet. We're going to be doing Super Bowl squares. We're going to be giving away multiple prizes. A couple of them are going to be Patriots gear because we want to kind of mix that in. I'm going to be putting up several prizes. I'll put up a poll, see what you guys want, and that's what I'll end up getting. If you want jerseys, we'll go with some jerseys. If you want helmets, we'll go with helmets. But the halftime and fourth quarter scores are going to be the big prizes. So how this will work, you guys let me know what numbers you want, 1 to 100, and then I will do a wheel spin to fill the numbers in. Spots are going to be $10 per, with a maximum of 5, unless we need to fill some more spots. But we'll start off with a max of 5. So $10 a spot, and I will do a live video to show how I'm filling it in. So we'll know the teams next week, but you can start picking squares now, because obviously none of the numbers are final and we don't know who's playing. But I will put that up in the group. And I will also want to congratulate our buddy Adrian, who ended up winning the Chara helmet last week. On a spin.
Love that one. Yeah, baby.
And I want to thank everybody who contributed, because you can see this nice camera that I got here that is much nicer, much kind of like a fisheye lens. Doesn't autofocus, but I like the fact that I can manually focus it. And we also got a couple more things coming in, but they're kind of lost in transit, but they should be arriving in the next couple of days. So we'll have that for next week's show. We got a nice light. We got a couple of microphone stands. We got some other stuff. And obviously some of that money went to paying some bills and paying for some of the prizes for the Super Bowl squares. So get your squares. We'll be running that for a couple of weeks, right up to kickoff is when you have time. So hopefully we fill it before then.
A lot of interest.
A lot
of interest. So you better get in on that.
Yeah, because I already know a ton of people that I've already talked to some folks and they already want in. Like I said, there will be guaranteed some Patriots gear in there. And then I'll figure out who's playing and I'll try to get some gear from those teams as well. I can't guarantee what it's going to be, and that's going to be kind of the
other than dope.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of the mystery, but there will be something from each team, and I will break that down. So, with that being said, Dan, what do you got for wrestling?
Well, I just want to first give a big shout out to MMA, M Extreme, who throughout all this nonsense with all her uncles yelling and screaming at each other, she is passed out. So that's how you know it's a Rahal household, when everybody's hollering and yelling and you can still pass out and just be sleeping like a little bitty angel. But yeah, wrestling. It's been a pretty fun week. Unfortunately, go right back to yesterday. Kind of work our way back a little bit. Yesterday was Monday Night Raw, which kind of sucked per usual, which is unfortunate. I did like that Randy Orton came out with his borderline gimp mask because he's been burned. He got his face burned by Alexa Bliss the week before, so he's got burned. So now he's got a mask that kind of looks like an El Santo mask. If you don't know El Santo, he's one of the El Santo. Yes. One of the more famous luchadors from Mexico. That was, it's kind of tough to understand the culture of America. But not only was this wrestler, because Hulk Hogan, most impactful wrestler other than Stone Cold Steve Austin, but was an actor, did all this stuff. But his movie sucked and never did well. Whereas El Santo, not only was he a phenomenal wrestler, well known, did really well, but all of his movies and soap opera novella spots that he did always looked real good and made a lot of money and were very successful.
Telenovelas.
Yeah, he's a little bit different on that case, but basically Orton, because he got his face burned by Alexa Bliss the week before, he came out in a mask, which was kind of odd. But they actually did do good, and I don't know. I say I don't know.
They did good.
It was makeup. It was the makeup on his face where they made him look burned. The nose was sticking out, and the eyes, and all that. And after she burned his face the week before, I thought it was pretty cool. It was a nice sell job. And again, like I said last week, I gotta know where the hell he gets the matches that he uses in all his promos, and when he set Bray Wyatt on fire, because they look like mini sparklers. There's like the piece of wood and like a whole bunch of stuff to burn before that. I've never seen anything like it.
That's weird.
So it's not just a wood match, not a cardboard match. It's like a super crazy mutant Vince McMahon match. Which if I would mold a match in the figure of Vince McMahon, that's what it would be. It burns.
You sure it wasn't like one of the arc welding things?
It's seriously, it almost looked like a sparkler. It was ridiculous, but either way, it was really good, and I love the new direction that they're taking the Bliss character in, where she had a bit of an altercation with Asuka, who is the Raw Women's Championship as well as the co-women's.
She is the championship?
She's the Raw Women's Champion as well. Thank you, Dave. As well as the co-women's tag team championship with Charlotte. Oh, Jesus, I did it again.
She is
champion with Tarple Foot. She's a championship, damn it.
Her materials,
but either way, double champion. And she came out, had a really good segment with Alexa Bliss, where she kind of had this bit of a transformation in between, where they're kind of blending in that Fiend type of feel with it, where it's not like a teleportation type of thing that they did with him, but it's more of her character changes, and she's all happy-go-lucky and swinging on the swing and talking to her invisible friend. All this is actual real, what she does on the show.
It's a little weird.
To being dark with the different clothes and the black lipstick and doing the Sister Abigail, a little bit more brutal, and I like that. So both her and Bray now, and I like that they brought her in with this, but they have both of them having that kind of softer side. I'm happy-go-lucky and everything's, yeah. But then once that switch flips, then they're, I'm going to kill you. And it's a great kind of, to hold one up against the other.
It's a great what?
I can't think of the word. And this is the second time tonight that I've tried to think of that word, but I can't think of it. Pat, what's the thing? Tell me the thing.
What's the context?
So you have two different things happening. So she starts out happy-go-lucky and goes super dark in the end, and it's a good something to hold up against each other because it complements it. It's a good juxtaposition. Jesus, that's been on my tongue all day.
No, that wasn't the word I was going to use.
That's what I was going to use, where you have the happy character and the brutal character, and you have them both. No, that's one word, but it's several syllables.
Joust of position?
Juxtaposition, Juxt.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yes, I actually heard that today for the first time in my whole
it's
life.
a similar thing they do with Bray Wyatt. It's pretty dope. But yeah, other than that,
I was going to say dichotomy or duality.
Dichotomy and duality are also both good words for that, and I think those are probably all things that they try to,
Oh, you almost said great. Don't say great.
No, Jesus, shut up. But yeah, other than that, Raw sucked. We have Ric Flair like pseudo banging Lacey Evans, and if anybody's not familiar with Lacey Evans, she's probably 32-year-old, fit, thick in every right kind of way, former soldier, awesome wrestler, has a nice Southern Belle kind of. She has a nice Southern Belle kind of character. She's great.
She's badass. She's hot.
But to have her kind of work into a feud with Charlotte Flair, they have Ric Flair being involved and him kayfabe banging her, which is awful. And I don't even want to think about that. And it would never happen. And I hate it. But
Was he like 106?
Oh, dude, he's like 79. By the way, which I also found out, Ralph Macchio, 59 years old. This dude's
He was 21 when he did the first Karate Kid.
Old in the movie.
He's older now than Mr. Miyagi was in the first movie.
Well, remember, Ralph Macchio was 21 playing a freshman in high school.
Which is why they didn't have him. I read this today. That's the reason why they didn't have him do the love interest in the third one. Like, ooh, yeah, we'll have you guys just be friends because you're like 24 and she's 16. So we'll kind of just keep. That was a good call. Good call. Good call. Yeah, good call. The rest was bad. Yeah. So Raw sucked. SmackDown's been awesome. We had Adam Pearce was set to face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble for the championship. Which, as I told you, Dave, and we can oppose. I don't like to be that I told you so guy. Absolutely. But I knew as soon as I saw it, I said, "There's no way this is going to happen." Now, Adam Pearce is currently the authority figure kind of on the different shows.
You said this before.
I told you this.
No.
Yeah, he was an NWA champ. He's been around, but they had him set to face Roman Reigns because it seemed, and I love the way they did it, was where Roman Reigns is such a piece of shit heel that he made it so he wouldn't have to fight any of the wrestlers, that he'd be able to fight the authority figure for the championship at the Royal Rumble, which we knew wasn't going to happen. So, which I love, dude. Scumbag Reigns, awesome Reigns, like nobody can beat him. Reigns with Paul Heyman Reigns, I love it. It's perfect. It's the absolute right direction that this character should have been going in years ago. And now they kind of have him low key recruiting other people, kind of onto that same thing because I don't watch it a bunch, and I should. The Raw Talk and the Smack Talk. So these are the after hours shows after the live wrestling shows. That they kind of they take the reins off. They don't no pun intended. But they take the reins off, kind of let them say whatever they want. And what I've seen on several of these consist of Paul Heyman cutting these awesome promos on some of these wrestlers that basically are like, "Hey, dude, you are so awesome and you have so much potential, and you got to stop thinking about this and don't let anybody tell you this." And stop accepting this, and he gets in their head, and he's getting them going. So he's done this with Big E. He's done this with Apollo Crews. Two guys that are on the up and coming track, especially Big E. That's my Royal Rumble pick, by the way. Is Big E, not Big E Langston, but Big E, the Intercontinental Champion.
He's not Big E
of the New Day. No, he's just Big E, the dude that should win this thing, but. That's pretty much the highlights of SmackDown. It's a good show, but really the Reigns storyline is kind of the be-all, end-all. Other than that, we just have random matches happening and random crap going. AEW has really been the show to see the past few weeks. I mean, just this past week on Wednesday, we had Pac versus Eddie Kingston. And Pac, for anybody that might be listening that might know, he did wrestle in WWE for a while. He was Neville. one of the best high flyers that I've seen in a long time. And the cool thing about him is that not only is he a high flyer,
really good,
but the dude is friggin' jacked. So he is so strong and has such a great body, and he's so good on the mic, and he's a high flyer. There's literally not much more of a total package that you can put together in wrestling other than him. Now, the Kingston match, Eddie Kingston, wonderful promo, awesome guy, good in the ring, but I think having him up against a high flyer might not be the best place to put him. And as much as I like the both of these guys, I feel like maybe that wasn't the way to go. But I always do like a good contrast of style and seeing people doing different things and having to adjust to what the other guy's doing, even if it's a little bit different than what you do. And that's fine. You know,
not everybody can do that.
Not everybody. It's tough. It's tough to meld those things. And, you know, but the way they've been putting everything together, where there's been a bit of a simmering undertone with Kingston taking over Pac's guys that he had. And so the Death Triangle is Pac, Rey Mysterio, Pac, Rey Fenix, and Pentagon El Zero Miedo. He used to be just Pentagon Jr., had to change his name. But he had those guys with him, and once Pac couldn't come back, once the Global Boston hit, he had him in his group, and now Pac's back, so they're kind of going at it like, no, these are my guys. No, these are my guys. That's my best friend. It's a good dynamic what they had with the feud, but the match left a little bit to be desired. But you know, I'm loving what they're doing with Kingston. I mean, he's being utilized.
Loving what they're doing.
He's being utilized constantly, whether it be. And that's the thing. No, he's not an Englishman, but
you sounded English.
He's from he's a New York guy, so everything he says is real. And if we're talking English guys, Simon Miller, shout out What Culture. One of the best things that he does is a little pull down every time that Eddie Kingston fights. It's a whole chart of seeing how many times that Eddie Kingston doesn't realize that wrestling's a work and thinks it's real and feels like it's real, because everything that he does in the ring, on the mic, every promo that he does, you're pretty sure he thinks it's real, and I love that. There's very few guys that do that and make you feel that way, especially now, you know, the climate, what it is at wrestling, where most of everything they do is scripted promos. So most of the kind of, you know, mic time that anybody gets, it's somebody trying to remember the stuff they memorized before. It's like, you know, trying to remember the songs to a stupid chorus song when you're in a play and you're trying to remember all the different. You don't care. You're just trying to remember the words so you don't mess up.
Not everybody's done.
There's no emotion. There's no you don't think that the guy's really coming to that place from that place unless it's Paul Heyman. He's the dopest. Yeah. But you know, moving on to the women's division, Serena Deeb versus Tay Conti. So Serena Deeb used to be in the WWE with CM Punk when he had the Straight Edge Society. It was good. She got busted from that and actually fired from the company because they found out that in real life she wasn't living the straight edge life and was actually going to bars. They fired her. Whatever. She's now wrestling in AEW and is the NWA champion. And this is just another beautiful example of where you have this interpromotional trading of talent, where Serena Deeb, who is the NWA champ, who took the belt off of another NWA champ on AEW TV, but they're still all there because NWA doesn't have a TV contract right now. They have nothing. They were almost strictly YouTube before all this nonsense started. So I saw a comment that somebody said, oh, well, AEW wouldn't have any women's division if they didn't have NWA. And I said, well, okay, well, that's fair.
Their own talent.
But NWA wouldn't have literally any exposure on any outlet whatsoever unless it was for AEW. So it really goes both ways. So that was like a really good match. Yeah, like a bisexual. Yeah. Serena Deeb's awesome. Tay Conti, and from a male standpoint, I'll be honest, I think she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen wrestle. And not only that, she's a Brazilian. She's wonderful. I tell Thiago about it all the time. I said, Thiago, your country produces the most beautiful woman I ever seen. It's crazy. But not only that, that girl gets better every single time I see her in the ring. She's physical. She's strong. She could do a lot of different stuff. She'll take bumps. So basically the whole package. Her promo's got to come along, but other than that, she's very close to being the total package. We also had Darby Allin versus Brian Cage for the TNT Championship, which was great because it's tough to sell a match where there's such a weight differential between the two guys. They had a weigh-in. The week before. Brian Cage, straight up muscle, natural muscle. 279 pounds. Darby Allin with his skateboard in his hand, his belts with the studs in them, his jacket, 170. So more than 100-pound difference between these people, but it's so tough to put on a match like they did where there's a 100-pound weight difference, but it's competitive. And Darby won. And that's because as always, Cage had Team Taz around. Taz is around, and you have Ricky Starks around, who, again, I will not say this enough. I'm going to try to say this every week. Ricky Starks is going to be the biggest star in wrestling at some point. He will.
It's that new cat, Bobby Free.
Bobby Free. Yeah, but Bobby Free is a man. But no, Ricky Starks will be the biggest thing in wrestling at some point. But then
Ricky Free.
As always, I know what you said. As always, we get Sting come out, help Darby Allin. Actually got to work a little bit. No, see, that's the thing. And Dave, you know what? Dave just yawned a little bit, and I don't blame you. Because the first few times that we've seen Sting, it's him coming out and going, hey, I'm here, everybody run. And they did. Hey, I'm here, everybody run. And they did. Except he used his bat this week and was wailing dudes with his black baseball bat. And it was awesome. And I don't even like Sting. I never liked WCW. I'm a WWE guy. But it was nice. It was nice to see him come out. Oh, F off, bro.
Not anymore. It's not. AEW is so far.
I mean, AEW is my jam. I mean, it's some of the best wrestling TV that's out there right now.
Oh yeah, I'm just totally biased.
So Darby Allin won that match. Love it. Darby Allin's another up and comer. It's fantastic. I mean, he's one of the biggest upward trajectories of the past year. I would say Darby Allin, aside from MJF, he's obviously, he's it. And I do like too a little bit of touch that they have with Team Taz. Do you know where Taz is from? Anybody? Pat, where's Taz? You know where Taz is from?
I know where
Tasmania.
Yeah, that's not bad. He's from Red Hook, Brooklyn. Red Hook. His kid is named Hook, which is badass. And he's out there now too. He's actually throwing moves around. He's throwing dudes. He's gonna be like the second coming of the suplex. I love it. He's a skinny little guy. He can throw some dudes for a skinny guy. And I don't love him, but I think there's at least a little bit of potential there. And I love to see that second generation guys coming in and actually doing work, taking some hits, doing some work. I love it. But next week there's a really weird thing, and this has gotten the Cornettes of the world. I said the Cornettes of the world. Jim Cornette, almost singularly. First, fuck you, and second, there's something that is so ingrained in wrestling that I don't reject necessarily, but I don't necessarily buy into like it's the be-all, end-all. Well, who's the bad guy and who's the good guy? Who's the face and who's the heel? We don't know who to root for. The Inner Circle came out last week, and Chris Jericho pronounced that, hey, me and MJF are going to win the tag team championships. You better watch out. Now, for those of us keeping track at home, within the Inner Circle, he's already tagged with Sammy Guevara as Les Sex Gods. They also have Santana Ortiz, who came out and got in Jericho's face right then and said, wait a minute, you brought us in to be the official tag team of the Inner Circle. What are you talking about? You're going to win the belts. These guys hadn't even had a shot at it. And then Guevara called Jericho one of the best insults I've heard in wrestling ever. He called him a tag team whore. And I thought it was fantastic. And it's true. Oh, what's the new hottest thing? I'm with you. What's the new hottest thing? I'm with you. And I'm a Jericho guy all the way. You can't do that.
I was going to call him an idiot.
You can't do that, you stupid idiot. But you can't do it. So basically, there's a three-way match within the same faction next week.
We're having a three-way.
So you have Ortiz and Santana versus Jericho and MJF and Guevara and Hager to see who the official tag team of the Inner Circle is. So it's so typical to have turmoil within a faction. You don't have a three-way tag team match within a faction. It doesn't happen. But again,
it's gonna happen, and Jericho's
of course,
gonna look like the bad guy, probably.
and
you know?
MJ, and I've been saying this for literally months. It's just angling for where MJF is gonna take it over from underneath the Jericho, and once he does, Jericho's gonna be the good guy, and blah 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 blah. We've seen it, but I've never seen this thing
You can
before.
angle in fishing, you can angle in wrestling.
But boy, a lot of different ways to do it. That's a good point. It sure does make the purists angry, and I kind of like that. Because it doesn't always have to be, well, who's the good guy and who's the bad? It doesn't have to be that. It's like, which of these teams do I like best? Who do I want to win? It doesn't have to be black and white. You know, it's gray, it's purple, it's blue, it's
Stage
green.
5 of Dan's ongoing.
It's all over it. Oh, fucking Cornette. I'm gonna get Cornette on his show. We're gonna battle. And all he's gonna tell me is, if it didn't happen before 1985 or after 1985, then it's not good. Even though I've seen him involved in some nonsense in wrestling Ninja Turtles, but it is what it is. But everything else that happens like that, he has a problem with. But that's the big news of the week. Other than that, I mean, we got the Royal Rumble coming up. I can't wait. That's a week from Sunday. I'm gonna try to get something going for that, for a little bit of get a little bit of action going on that Rumble. But Big E's my pick. Dave, who's your pick for the Rumble?
I don't even know who's wrestling.
God damn it, you're supposed to just say something.
Maybe the Fiend.
The Fiend? The Fiend's not probably going to be in. Pat, who's your pick for the Rumble?
Roman Reigns.
That could happen, you know?
Champion, though.
No, here's the thing. Pat, I want to bust on you.
Oh, I know who it is.
But I'm not going to say it.
I know who it is.
Who is it?
The Rock.
So,
The Rock is supposed to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. It's going to be The Rock. The Rock's going to come down.
I don't think The Rock versus Reigns is going to happen this year. I've heard it, but I heard The Rock was out. But.
Probably is out. He's not going to come back.
So there is a championship match coming up, and there is still Money in the Bank in play. Money in the Bank is still in play.
I had a dream Triple H died. It was the worst thing in my whole life.
Well, I hate to hear that.
Yeah, it
But-
scared the hell out of me. I
but
woke
the
up in
whole-
sweat.
The whole Reigns thing,
So sad.
something that I've heard and I kind of liked. I'm not digging my heels in on it, but I like it. Where Reigns somehow loses the championship because he's fighting Kevin Owens in the last man standing match at the Rumble. So you got
That sounds terrible.
Reigns and Owens. Oh, their last match was gold. It was solid gold. It was like Kid Rock status, like 7 times platinum, dude. I'm not the biggest Reigns guy. Heel Reigns, different story. So we got McIntyre facing Goldberg, which I couldn't be less excited to see. Like, I'd rather see my toenails get pulled out one by one in slow motion. But then we got Reigns versus Owens. So a last man standing match would certainly lend itself to somebody cashing in Money in the Bank. Reigns wins the last man standing match. Reigns then gets cashed in on. Reigns then enters himself into the Royal Rumble and wins. So, Pat, you might be onto something with that, because I've heard that scenario. That could make some sense.
And like they always do that when they're trying to push somebody over the top.
See, it's true. But do you know what happened last time that they tried to push Reigns down our throat and he won the Royal Rumble? I don't know if you know
Everybody hated him because all they did was put him up against Brock Lesnar for like 12 years in a row.
So he ended up beating Lesnar, but when he won the Rumble, it was one of the worst received winners of any Rumble ever. They even literally brought The Rock out. When he won, The Rock came out and held his hand up. And there's nobody other than Steve Austin that can come out in front of any WWE crowd and get the pop. They brought The Rock out and held this dude's hand out, and they booed. They booed them both. They booed them both. The look on his face is going.
You got to put the microphone.
You hate him so much that we don't like you because you're next to him. It was so bad. But because Reigns' whole thing is like, I'm the Samoan guy and I'm the head of the table and there's nobody bigger than me in the Samoan heritage and I'm the head of the table. I'm the guy. The Rock's that makes sense. But they don't. But you know what the thing is too? There doesn't need to be a championship on the line for that. There does not need to be a belt involved in that match. So Take it away. Let him get the Rock. Let the Rock cost him that match and then go on to WrestleMania. Boom, done. You wrote it, Dave. Dave booked it. Dave called it.
It's all fodder, so we'll see what happens.
I can't wait.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up because we're almost at 2.5 hours. So,
Yeah, long one today.
do you have a hot take, prediction, or disagree with something we said? Let us know at TheLoudestSportsShow@gmail.com. Follow us on social media, Twitter @Loudest_show, Instagram @TheLoudestSportsShow. You can check our Raise Energy link. You've been seeing Dan and Dave both drinking the Raise Energy this evening. You guys got a couple of the new flavors. You got Apollo, you got strawberry colada, you got guava mango or mango.
If I'm being honest, Apollo might be my favorite,
Yeah, we missed a chance to say, did you have anything derogatory to say about the Apollo? And you go, derogatory? Yeah, it's great. So we're going to end on that. We will catch you guys
I'll be
soon,
out of here. I'm sleeping.
and we'll see you next time.